My House of Horrors Chapter 941-960. Did you notice that the background music seems to have changed? Bai Buhui looked at the noisy visitors and spoke for the first time. His voice was not pleasant, and he seemed to be cold toward everything. This means that the game has started, right? Time is limited. Let's not waste time at the entrance. We need to go and find those paintings. The short man with the impatient personality walked at the front. There was only curiosity in his eyes and no fear. Buhui, don't mind him. My brother is quite direct with his words. Lu Gang stood in the middle of the crowd. The large number of visitors gave him a sense of security. You can call him Small Ghost. The tall and thin man next to him is Big Ghost, and the girl in the short skirt behind him is Sister Ghost. These three are outdoor live streamers on our platform. They once slept in a graveyard and live streamed in a morgue. Outdoor live streaming. Bai Buhui glanced at the short man and nodded. I think I've watched their live streams when I was bored. They were indeed very bored. What about the others? The friends who came with me this time are all very good. Lu Gang introduced his friends to Bai Buhui. The cameraman's nickname is Man Meng. He used to be a professional cameraman for survival in the wasteland. He's not afraid of bears or tigers, much less a small haunted house. The one with the phone is my assistant. Even though he's not that brave, we're very close. No matter where we go together. The bald man is called Lu Guangming. He's the bravest in our company's security team, and he's very lucky. He has brushed shoulders with death several times. Many passers-by have been injured, but he's fine. The three students are paranormal enthusiasts. They might look young, but they've done several videos of the test of courage competition, and they're very popular on foreign websites. They're very familiar with the school legends and supernatural stories, so there's basically nothing that can scare them. Lu Gang introduced them excitedly, but the more Bai Buhui heard, the deeper the frown on his face became. In the end, before Lu Gang could say the names of the three students, he interrupted Lu Gang. This is a live stream, and you only brought a few of them? Is that not enough? They're all professionals. Lu Gang was very proud. He had a smile on his face and maintained a confident expression before the camera. Professionals? Just them? Bai Buhui's lips twitched. He really wanted to tell them about the exploration of Chen Ge's haunted house at the futuristic theme park and how a few of his employees were still lying in the hospital. After giving it some thought, Bai Buhui was afraid that Lu Gang would lose face, so he did not say it directly. Instead, he said in a roundabout way, "Don't do the missions. His haunted house is quite boring. We should just walk around and get through this boring hour." Bai Buhui was the representative from the futuristic theme park. The reason they had agreed to challenge Chen Ge's haunted house was because Chen Ge had said too much earlier. As long as one of them could speak normally, even if it was against their will to say that the haunted house was not scary, they would win. Their mouths were on their bodies, so they were the ones who had the final say. With 11 people challenging at the same time, the futuristic theme park believed that there was no chance of them losing. Old Tai, are you joking? We're here to crack down on fraud. If we don't complete his mission, the netizens won't be happy. Shorty looked down on Bai Buhui. He felt like Bai Buhui was being sarcastic. You don't know, Little Ghost is right. If we don't complete the mission, how can it be considered cracking down on fraud? The woman in the short skirt cut in before Bai Buhui finished. She had a good figure, and she wore skimpy clothes. She kept walking to the camera, accidentally letting Lu Gang's viewers see her. Little Ghost was impatient, Sister Ghost was flamboyant, and the tallest Big Ghost did not like to talk. Bai Buhui had his own plan, but no one listened to him, so he had to turn to Lu Gang for help. Lu Gang, we have to be steady. We have to drag this 60 minutes out. Okay, I'll listen to you. Lu Gang's attention was on the number of viewers in his live stream. There were close to 1 million viewers online, and he was overjoyed. At his level, it was hard to increase the number of fans, but this crackdown on fraud gave him hope. The comments about Brother Gang being a real man lifted Lu Gang into the air. He really felt like he was not afraid of anything, and nothing could scare him. We're here to challenge, so we have to do the mission, but we can't be too hasty. We might be led by the boss. The three students walked over from the back of the group. The leader was 1.8 meters tall, and he was dressed casually. Let me introduce myself. I'm Landlord, a fan of mysticism. I've liked ghosts since I was young. No one asked you what you like, and you don't need to tell me. Bai Buhui was in a bad mood. Looking at his teammates, he felt angry. I shouldn't have trusted Lu Gang. I should have brought my own people. No, I should have replaced them with people from our theme park. Okay, then I won't waste any time. I'll give you a simple explanation. Landong changed his tone. We need to find 13 oil paintings in 1 hour. This scenario is so big that we can't see the end of it. If we want to complete the mission, we'd better split up. No, Bai Buhui almost cursed. The more people, the safer it is. We can't split up, we have to stay together. I'm just suggesting. There's no need to get so worked up. Landong was also annoyed. He glanced at Lu Gang. Brother Gang, this friend of yours is quite impressive. Before Lu Gang's group even started the exploration, they were already arguing. It did not feel like they were that reliable. The 5 visitors at the back of the group discussed for a long time before they walked over. We heard this haunted house is very scary. Can we explore it together? Bring the 5 of us with you. The senior from Zhejiang Medical University whispered. He and Landong were both students, and it was easier for young people to communicate with each other. Of course, but honestly, this haunted house is just so-so. You're just imagining things. Lu Gang acted like a gentleman before the camera, but before he finished, Bai Buhui added, we can't bring them. Didn't you say the more the merrier? There might be employees from the haunted house among the 5. It's not safe to bring them. Bai Buhui was one of the designers for the futuristic theme park. With the information provided by his colleague, he knew the tricks of Chen Ge's haunted house. If you don't want to bring us, then don't. You've made up quite a scary story. A middle-aged man among the 5 grabbed the hand of the woman next to him. Let's go. I don't want to be with them. The middle-aged man walked ahead with his girlfriend. The 2 medical students were unwilling, but they did not stay with Lu Gang. They followed the middle-aged man. There was only one person left in the small team of 5. That person was wearing a thick coat and trousers on a hot day. His hands were in his pockets. He didn't follow anyone else and chose a direction to leave alone. Let's not waste time. We'll start the exploration now. There are only a few ways for a haunted house to scare people. As long as I believe that everything is fake, nothing can scare me. I won't be afraid when I see the actors. If anything, I'll think they're funny. Lu Gang ignored Bai Buhui. He moved forward, and the team of 11 officially entered the school of the afterlife. The sound of crying came from the corner, and the children's whispers were carried by the chilling wind. This was once a paradise, but now, there was only an empty corridor. The half-open wooden door creaked, and there were small words on the wall. The sharp knives carved out the only good memories left in the children's minds. It's very real. 1 year ago, we entered the biggest abandoned school in Shanghai to test our courage. This place gives me the same feeling as that school. Landong took out his phone to snap a few pictures. It doesn't look like it's purposely made old. It feels like the school was originally like this. Look at the dust between the window frames and the burn marks at the base of the wall. His fingers pressed on the wall. Under the white dusty wall was a layer of burnt paint. To create this scenario, the wall has to be burned and then repainted. The boss even considered such a small detail. There were 2 students next to Landong. One was called Ali. He was chubby and looked honest. The other was a girl. She was very quiet and did not like to talk. Perhaps the haunted house boss moved the burnt walls underground to remodel them. Lu Gang did not want his audience to think that there was anything special about this haunted house. He tried to lighten the atmosphere. Speaking of which, we've been here for 5 minutes, and we haven't seen a single actor. The workers here are so unprofessional. Perhaps they're waiting for a chance. The male assistant chuckled. He was about to move forward when Big Ghost and Small Ghost, who were leading the way, suddenly stopped. Did you guys hear a strange sound? Big Ghost, who had been silent, suddenly spoke. He looked around and then turned to stare at the path that they had come from. It seems to come from behind us. What sound? How come I didn't hear it? It sounds like a faucet that isn't tightened, and the water is dripping. Big Ghost took several steps back and pushed open the door next to Lu Gang. It looked like a normal toilet, and there were 5 cubicles. Be careful, the workers might be hiding inside the cubicles. Creepy background music drifted into his ears. Big Ghost and Small Ghost entered the bathroom, and everyone else stood at the door. What are you afraid of? Since there are so many of us here, I'll pull out the actor and let everyone see. Small Ghost led the way. When he saw that the camera was on him, he was even more pleased with himself. He pushed open the door of the first cubicle. There was nothing in the narrow cubicle. He pushed open the doors of the next few cubicles and finally stopped at the door of the fifth cubicle. Spending so much effort to recreate an abandoned toilet, there has to be a hidden scare point here. The dripping sound came from the toilet, so there has to be something wrong with this last cubicle. Small Ghost and Big Ghost stood on one side, and they pushed the door of the last cubicle open at the same time. Bang! The cubicle door slammed against the wall. There was no one hiding in the last cubicle, only a torn diary. It was just a false alarm. It seems like we were overthinking it. The others entered the toilet one after another. Small Ghost and Big Ghost picked up the notebook from the ground. There were some words written on it. Do not enter a dripping toilet alone. There might be scary spirits hiding in the four corners of the cubicle. Do not lower your head when you walk. Cold hands will press down on your head. Do not stay in a room filled with posters for too long. They won't be able to leave, but they'll make you stay. Do not bite your fingers. Your nails might be taken away. Do not stare at the broken mirror. You might find a different version of yourself in the mirror. Do not read the diary that you picked up. You've read his past, and you'll become the next him. Small Ghost closed the tattered diary and pouted. If I believed that, I wouldn't have gone to the graveyard to sleep. Boring. He tossed the diary into the urinal, and the moment the diary landed, the door of the first cubicle suddenly slammed shut. His hands shook, and Small Ghost looked at the other people in the room with annoyance. Who closed the door? Is there something wrong with you? No one seems to have touched it. Bai Buhui stood at the back of the group. He hesitated before his palm landed on the door of the first cubicle. The cameraman also pointed the camera at him. He pushed it slowly, and there was still nothing inside the first cubicle. There is no mechanism installed on the door frame and axle, so why did it suddenly close? Was it the wind? That's not right. The male assistant suddenly shouted, and that gave Lu Gang a fright. Don't be so surprised. What did you find? Perhaps my eyes are playing tricks on me. The male assistant's smile was rather forced. He leaned closer to Lu Gang's ear. I've been watching your live stream. Earlier, the camera was pointed at Bai Buhui. When he opened the door, there seemed to be a child on the screen. He was lying inside the first cubicle. If you're not mistaken, the chat would have exploded already. Lu Gang glanced at his own livestream. The chat was normal. It appeared like only the male assistant had seen that earlier. If I knew this, I wouldn't have brought you. Don't scare yourself. This is a livestream. If you're afraid, it'll be too embarrassing. After the camera focused on him, Lu Gang quickly calmed down. Alright, there's nothing to see in this toilet. Let's go find the oil painting and try to finish the mission half an hour earlier. Okay. Bai Buhui also thought that was weird, but he could not tell what was weird about it. The few of them walked out of the toilet, but the male assistant was still confused. He lowered his head to look at the livestream on his phone and shook his head. Perhaps my eyes are playing tricks on me. Just as he was about to leave, the male assistant suddenly felt a chill around his neck like a small, cold hand was squeezing it. Who is it? Whipping his head around, the male assistant saw a gray foot flash past the fifth cubicle. What was that? He did not have the courage to go over to take a look himself. When Small Ghost and Big Ghost left the toilet, he ran out. No one stayed in the toilet. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Red liquid dripped from the pipe, and there were shallow water stains at the four corners of the toilet. They looked like four human faces. The male assistant gripped the phone tightly. He squeezed to Lu Gang's side, unsure whether he should tell Lu Gang what he had seen. He was very anxious. Even staying in the middle of the crowd could not get rid of that feeling of anxiety. He kept turning back to look at the toilet. The strange background music crawled into his ears, and the footsteps behind him became chaotic. It felt like as he walked, something else would appear. I Have a Haunted House will continue to be updated on Chengdu. There will be no advertisements on the site, so please bookmark and recommend Chengdu. If you like I Have a Haunted House, please bookmark. I Have a Haunted House, Chengdu's updates are the fastest. Let's go. Stop looking around. Sister Ghost leaned close to the male assistant. Did Brother Gang tell you the requirements for this mission? Why is your heart beating so fast? And why are you sweating so much? Are you not feeling well? It's fine, it's fine. The male assistant pulled back his gaze. Holding the phone, his face was strangely pale, and he mumbled softly, "The footsteps are chaotic. But there's no extra one. Thankfully. You're such a weird person." Sister Ghost wanted to ask the male assistant something, but seeing how he was acting, she gave up on that thought. "Little sister, you and Small Ghost should pay more attention. This haunted house is very well designed." Big Ghost silently moved to Sister Ghost's side. "Did you hear something again?" Sister Ghost was curious. "Someone is calling for help. The voice is coming from the wall." I closed my eyes to confirm the source of the voice, but I realized that the voice seems to be coming from all directions, like there are speakers buried everywhere. Big Ghost's ability to express himself was very weak. "Big Ghost, this is just a haunted house. Don't scare yourself. Other than that, you should go find a doctor to look at your ears. If this drags on, a small illness will turn into a serious illness." Sister Ghost's voice only sounded normal when she was talking to Big Ghost and Small Ghost. "Okay." The group of 11 reached the end of the corridor, and they came to the first junction. There are signs on the wall. The club activity room, storage room, gymnasium, library, and swimming pool are on the left, and the right is the education block, lab, and office building. Small Ghost walked at the front. He looked at the words on the wall and reached out to touch them. It's carved with a knife, and there's some paint on it. There was a light red stain on his fingertips, and if one sniffed it, there was a light smell of blood. "Our mission is to place the 13 oil paintings in the art club. It's related to the club activity, so I suggest we go to the left first. Perhaps we'll find some clues." Landong's black-rimmed glasses covered his excited eyes. The boy treated this haunted house visit as a game of detective. The oil paintings are related to the art club, that's common knowledge. The boss might have used that to set up various traps in the corridor on the left. Imp pointed at the tunnel on the right. "Why don't we do the opposite and take the tunnel on the right? Maybe we can catch him off guard." "My little brother has a point. Once you fall into the other party's rhythm, you'll be at a disadvantage." Sister Ghost supported Small Ghost unconditionally. Then, she nudged Big Ghost. Big Ghost seemed to be spacing out and did not pay attention to what the others were saying. After being touched by Sister Ghost, he said instinctively, "The crying is getting closer. It's just around us." His sudden words caused the atmosphere to become very strange. The haunted house's workers might be coming. The safest solution is to return the way we came. No matter what we see, do not turn back. We will stay at the entrance, Bai Buhui reminded them again. Ahem. Lu Gang coughed dryly. There's no need for the two of you to help the haunted house build up the atmosphere. This time, I'm live streaming it. If I take a step back, I won't be able to live up to the comments. Ignore them. Landong chuckled. I've seen Big Ghost and Small Ghost supernatural show. The so-called sleeping in the graveyard is nothing special. Many of the supernatural phenomena in the show are caused by them. After all, Landong was young and straightforward. He said what was on his mind in front of the livestream audience. Even though the camera was not aimed at him, the livestream audience heard his voice. Bullsh *T. Small Ghost was hot-tempered. He rolled up his sleeves and was about to argue with Landong. The three of us have played many paranormal games, and we've been to many places to test our courage, all to find the existence of spirits. Unfortunately, until now, we haven't come across anything too strange. All the strange phenomena can be explained by science. Landong seemed to be a genius. He did not want to argue with Small Ghost and walked to Lu Gang's side. Brother Gang, this time, just watch. The three of us will explain everything about this haunted house from a scientific perspective. Brother Gang, the male assistant wanted Landong to explain the legs that he had seen earlier, but Lu Gang did not give him the chance. I understand that you want to maximize the effect of the show, but there is no need for that. Lu Gang told the camera confidently. We're here to fight against fraud. We'll do it openly, not through these dirty tricks to attract attention. You have a point. Brother Gang is indeed a big account with millions of fans. We should learn from him. Come on, we'll go to the left first. Since Lu Gang had given the order, the others had to endure it even though they were unhappy. The light dimmed, and the people at the front could not see the face of the person at the back. Stay close. The staircase was complicated. Even though there was a map on the wall, the map was covered in red paint like it had been modified by ghosts. They entered several rooms, but Lu Gang's group did not find any paintings. Instead, they saw many torn workbooks and diaries, and they were filled with many scary words. This school seemed to be filled with taboos. Once they did something bad, they would be met with misfortune. Bang! Landlord pushed open a door at the corner, and the wooden board with the words Club Activity Center fell to the ground. The room looked like it had been abandoned for a long time. There was a moldy smell, and the tables and chairs were covered in dust. A club activity file? The bald guard, Lu Guangming, found a yellowed book on the table. It had the information of various clubs, but he did not see the art club. Why isn't there an art club? We've been here for 10 minutes. Theoretically speaking, we should have started to provide clues. Landlord grabbed the file and flipped through it. Every club had a black and white picture of the club members, but when he flipped to the end, he frowned. The club recorded on the last page was called the Supernatural Research Club. In the picture, all the members were wearing blood-red outfits. Of all the pictures, only the picture of this club is different. The art club should be related to this club. If we want to complete the mission, we'd better go find the members of this club. They should have left behind some information. Landlord memorized the information about the Supernatural Research Club. The club doesn't have an activity room. The teacher in charge is Bai, and all the information is in Mr. Bai's dormitory. Brother Dong, it's been 10 minutes, and we haven't found a single painting. If this continues, it'll be hard to complete the mission, Ali whispered. I suggest we split up. One group will search for the paintings, and the other will focus on deciphering the art club's secret. That way, we can place the 13 paintings into the art club's oil painting room in the shortest amount of time possible. Looks like that's the only way. Landlord turned to Lu Gang. Brother Gang, make the decision. Don't even think about it. Bai Buhui blocked the door. I've seen many horror movies. When everyone stays together, nothing will happen, but some people have to leave due to various reasons. I've always been curious why those people are in such a hurry to die. I have a house of horrors, please collect. I have a house of horrors updated the fastest. The information of the Supernatural Phenomenon Research Society is in Mr. Bai's dormitory, and the dormitory and office building are in another corridor. The boss's design is obviously to split us up. Bai Buhui was very calm. If the 11 of us stay together, even if we run into the workers, we won't be afraid, but once we're separated, we'll be easily taken down. Taken down one by one? We're just visiting a haunted house. Everyone has a phone. If anything happens, we can just call each other to explain. Landlord felt like Bai Buhui was being too careful. He did not look like he was visiting a haunted house but more like he was gambling with his life. He's too deep into character. Landlord silently labeled Landlord in his mind. He did not know the man's identity, and Lu Gang did not tell them about the futuristic theme park. When a person is scared, their brain will be temporarily confused. We've set our phone to a one-button dial so that even if we run into an accident, we can contact others immediately. Ali took out his phone and demonstrated. We often do this when we go out to explore. There are also many defensive techniques. If you want to learn, I can teach you. Professional. Lu Gang was satisfied with Landlord and Ali. Let's do as Xiao Dong says. The three of them, me, the cameraman, and the assistant, the 6 of us will go to the other corridor. The 5 of you will continue to search here. Since Lu Gang had spoken, the others had no objections, and Bai Buhui could not argue with so many viewers. Don't waste time. The boss gave us 60 minutes, so let's try to clear the scenario in 40. I want to enjoy the boss's expression at the exit. Lu Gang then led Landlord's group back the way they came. We've been here for so long, and we haven't even seen a ghost. Even if my friends don't feel bored, I do. The camera followed Lu Gang closely, and they soon disappeared around the corner. That Landlord is so young, but he sure is cunning. He took away the chance to show his face in front of millions of people just like that. Sister Ghost rolled her eyes and pointed at Big Ghost and Small Ghost. Why don't you say something? I was hoping to use Lu Gang's popularity to attract more viewers for our livestream, but look what happened. Without the camera, no one was so reserved, and they said whatever they wanted. Then shouldn't we continue exploring? The bald security guard, Lu Guangming, was the most honest. He was the most innocent of the group. He did whatever his superior told him to do, and he did not think too much when he came to the haunted house. Of course, we'll go look for those oil paintings now. If we find more oil paintings than Landong, the viewers in the livestream will probably approve of us more. Sister Ghost adjusted her clothes. To think that I dressed up today. Don't worry. Bai Buhui stopped Sister Ghost. We'll go back the way we came and follow behind Lu Gang's group. If they run into something scary, we can stand out immediately. I don't think that's a good idea. Both Sister Ghost and Little Ghost felt that it was inappropriate. Lu Gang is live streaming the whole thing. The camera is with them. You're dressed so hot today. Are you trying to show your skin to the ghosts? Bai Buhui's words struck a chord in Sister Ghost's heart. If the three of you want fame, following Lu Gang is the best choice. As long as we don't get discovered by them, we'll be fine. Bai Buhui was a clever man. He knew how to make use of people's desires. Furthermore, we can't count on those three kids. When they're scared out of their wits, the few of us will appear. Don't you think that'll be more interesting? Impressive. We'll go back now and move as soon as possible, or else they'll get far away. Sister Ghost and the other two were convinced, and the security guard, Lu Guangming, had no choice but to agree. The five of them left the club activity center. By then, the corridor outside was empty, and Lu Gang's group was nowhere to be seen. Don't get discovered by them. At the same time, pay attention to your surroundings. The boss is waiting for us to split up before he makes his move. Looking at the time, he should be making his move soon. Bai Buhui and the other four returned the way they came. After turning the corner, they still did not see Lu Gang, but they could hear footsteps not far away. Let's maintain this distance. Under the dim light, the footsteps came from the corridor. With the guidance of the footsteps, Bai Buhui slowly caught up to the people on the other side of the corridor. Achoo! The assistant sneezed. He hugged the phone and kept turning to look behind him. Brother Gang, Meng Nan, do you hear the footsteps behind us? It sounds like something is following us. So be it. After all, we're inside a haunted house. They won't eat you, will they? Lu Gang was so focused on the chat that he did not pay attention to what the assistant said. They returned to the junction and prepared to go down the right corridor when the male assistant suddenly stopped. What's wrong with you now? When we came earlier, I remember that the doors in the corridor were all open. We even went into the toilet, and I was the last one to come out. I remember very clearly that I did not close the door. The assistant's eyes moved, and his face turned pale. Brother Gang, look at the ground. There were footprints and handprints on the dusty ground, as well as the marks of a ball rolling. There's really something following us. It's been following us. What are you panicking for? We're inside a haunted house. Isn't it normal for a haunted house worker to follow us? These are all fake. They're not real ghosts. Lu Gang used his shoes to step on the marks of the ball rolling on the ground. It's obviously a prop. Do you think a real ghost will use its head to walk on the ground? Is there such a dumb ghost? Perhaps the haunted house worker made a mistake. It's normal for something like this to happen in a small haunted house. Lan Dong smiled. The footprints and handprints are different in size. They probably used a mold. If they're all real people, I'm afraid this haunted house will lose money just from the salary alone. With Lan Dong's insistence, the group entered the left corridor. After passing several empty classrooms, they followed the sign to find the male dormitory. Why is there a staircase? Is there another underground floor? The doors on the first floor were all closed. They came to the second floor, and they found a torn diary in the first room at the corner. Year X month X day, I lost a bet with my friend, so we came to this abandoned school to test our courage. The three of us had to play 3 games in total. Guess the person behind the door, sitting in rows and inverted house. The first 2 games were played by my friend, and it went well. The last game was my turn. Even though I was afraid, I insisted on finishing the game. When I stood up again, my friend saw that there was a piece of paper on my back, and on it was the way to leave the campuses. The diary did not end there. There were instructions for the 3 games at the end. It was very thoughtful, like it was purposely trying to entice people to play. After playing these 3 games, we'll get the way to leave the abandoned school. Looks like we're quite lucky to have found one of the main missions. Lan Dong flipped the diary to the end and read the instructions for the 3 games. Isn't our mission to find the paintings? The male assistant was afraid that Lan Dong would do something crazy, so he spoke up, but it was too late. Even if we find all the paintings, we still won't be able to leave. What if the boss breaks his promise and forcefully increases the difficulty? Lan Dong was very thoughtful. There are 5 main missions in this haunted house, and the one we drew is the easiest. The other missions should have information related to escape. In other words, the diary that we found is an important clue for the other missions. If we can find the way out, we can attack or retreat. Then, we can mock the boss and point at the camera, imagining how angry and powerless he is. Landlord's words were exactly what Liu Gang was thinking, and he immediately decided. It's just 3 games. The livestream viewers want to see them, so we'll finish them in 5 minutes. With the clue, we'll go to the art club. Don't worry, we played many similar supernatural games. We'll be fine. Landlord held the diary. The first game is guess the person behind the door. The rules are simple. One person stands in a dark room, and the others stand outside the door. They can't speak, and the person outside can only make footsteps. After walking around the door twice, they will knock 3 times. The person inside the room will call out the name of the person who knocked. If the guess is correct, the person who knocked will enter the room and continue to guess the next one. It's a very simple game. It's not that difficult. Liu Gang had thought that it would be a scary game, but it was just a normal game. We can discuss the order and then knock according to the order. Yes, that's what I was thinking. Landlord looked at the dormitory behind him. This room will do. I'll go in and take a guess. Ali and Xiao Chun. You two follow closely behind him, then Brother Gang, and finally, the cameraman and the assistant. Okay, we'll try to finish this in 1 minute. Liu Gang nodded in agreement, and the others did not say anything. The game started. Landlord entered the room and closed the door. The male dormitory was dark, and there was something under every bed sheet. It looked like there were people lying on the bed. I'm ready. After Landlord finished speaking, the sound of footsteps came from the corridor outside the door. The sound was very soft. After the man walked around the dormitory twice, someone knocked on the door. Little Chun, is that you? The door was pushed open, and the quiet girl walked into the room. What kind of supernatural game is this? Any of the games we've played before is scarier than this. The sound of footsteps rang out again. Everyone entered the house one by one according to the order they had discussed. The cold wind blew into his shirt, and the number of people outside the door decreased. The male assistant gripped the phone tightly, and he kept glancing around. In the quiet corridor, the sudden knocking on the door was quite scary, and the shuffling of footsteps was rather creepy. The male assistant's mind was in a mess. For some reason, he was reminded of the stories that the adults told him when he was young. Not returning home late at night and pacing up and down the corridor would attract their attention, and when the door opened, they would follow him home. Why do we have to play this kind of game? He was afraid, and his palms were sweaty, staining the casing of the phone. Xiao Chun, Ali, and Liu Gang all successfully entered the door, and only Muscle and the assistant were left in the corridor. Carrying the camera, Muscle followed the game's instructions and walked down the corridor, leaving the assistant standing alone at the door. Alone, the fear in his heart could not be suppressed, and his legs were shaking. Hold it in, it's just a game. Just as the male assistant's mind was wandering, Muscle had started to walk back with the camera. The sound of footsteps echoed in the assistant's ears. There were 2 sets of footsteps, one in front of the other behind him. He whipped his head around to look, and the male assistant stared at the corridor behind him. It was dark, and something seemed to be approaching in the thick darkness. It's your turn. Someone patted his shoulder, and the male assistant recovered. He saw the cameraman who was 1 meter away from him. What are you thinking about? I'll go in first. The cameraman, Meng Nan, knocked on the door and looked at the male assistant strangely. Why is your face so pale? The door opened, and the cameraman entered the room with the camera. Only the male assistant was left in the corridor. Something seemed to be coming from the darkness. The male assistant took a deep breath. Ever since the cameraman entered the room, the footsteps had disappeared. It should be an illusion, or the haunted house's workers are messing around. He kept encouraging himself as he slowly moved his sore feet. According to the requirements of the game, he walked to the other side of the corridor, but as soon as he moved, he heard 2 footsteps. Did I make them myself? He tried to take 2 more steps. The 2 footsteps overlapped, but he was sure that they did not come from the same person. Earlier, the cameraman stood here to greet me, and from this position, the footsteps appeared. Wait a minute. The male assistant suddenly realized something. When Muscle greeted me, I think I was patted on my shoulder, but he was 1 meter away from me, and he was carrying the camera. The male assistant felt his body freeze, and he was rooted to the spot. It wasn't him who patted me. A chill rushed down his spine. The male assistant was about to scream when he felt another pat on the same spot on his shoulder. Who was that? He grabbed the phone and threw it behind him. The movement was too big, and his hands were too sweaty, so his phone fell to the ground. There was no one. Bending down, the male assistant lowered his head to pick up the phone. Using the weak light from the screen, he seemed to see something. His eyes widened, and when his vision turned upside down, he saw many pale bodies hanging from the ceiling behind him. They seemed to be walking in an inverted world, and they had been following behind him. The black hair fell before his face, and the tip of his nose felt itchy. The male assistant forgot how to breathe at that moment. He slowly raised his head, and an upside-down human face appeared before him. He could not remember any language. The male assistant abandoned the phone. He used both his arms and legs to scream as he rushed in the opposite direction of the human face. Hearing the scream outside the door, Lu Gang and the rest quickly opened the door, but the male assistant was nowhere to be seen. They could only hear his echoes. Welcome to Fanfic Audiobook, your go-to place for immersive audiobooks. If you enjoy the content, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories. Where is he? What's going on? The dormitory door was half open. Lu Gang looked down the empty corridor and sucked in a cold breath. The male assistant was not brave, but he was not a coward either. What did he see when he was alone? The same question appeared in everyone's mind. None of them knew why the male assistant had run away. If this was not a planned scenario, then there was a big problem. Brother Gang, this brother of yours is a bit of a coward. Landlord stood next to Lu Gang, and his eyes were filled with confusion. At the time, they had been hiding inside the dormitory, and the assistant could have knocked on the door for help, so why did he run down the corridor? Was it because he was too afraid that his brain was dominated by fear, and he lost his basic judgment? Or was the thing that scared him at the door? A layer of goosebumps appeared on Landlord's neck. He looked around, but he did not see anything scary. The phone is still here. Ali was about to pick up the phone when he saw a piece of paper with bloodstains next to it. Look. He picked up the paper, and a few sentences were scrawled on it. There is a hidden path behind one of the mirrors on the eastern and western campuses. We can leave the campuses through the hidden path, but after we left, we realized we didn't clear the game, so how did we get the hint? Ali held the paper. Is this message purposely misleading us? Mirrors are important in many places, especially when the sky is dark. We shouldn't wander around mirrors. Brother Gang's assistant's sacrifice is not completely worthless. At least, it has revealed something important. Landlord accepted the paper. The boss has been watching us, ready to make his move at any moment. The message on the paper should be real. We're live streaming it, so the boss wouldn't have tampered with the game hint. After all, his haunted house still needs to earn money in the future. If he purposely used the hint to trick the visitors, it would cause them to be disgusted. Before the camera, Landlord's analysis was clear and logical. He wanted to divert everyone's attention. However, he had underestimated the impact of the male assistant's disappearance on everyone there, including Lu Gang's livestream. The whole screen was filled with question marks. Keep this note well. Later on in the exploration, if we see a mirror, we'll try to push it together. Lu Gang forced himself to remain calm. This was the first time he had heard his assistant scream like that. It was as if his life was threatened, and he was about to die. Since we got the hint, there's no need for us to play the remaining 2 games. Let's go look for information related to Mr. Bai and meet up with Bai Buhui and the others at the art club. Landlord didn't dare to be careless anymore. After all, it had only been a few seconds, and a living adult had disappeared just like that. It was indeed a little scary. They hadn't seen how the male assistant had disappeared, so they didn't know why he had disappeared. Because they didn't know, they were even more anxious. Let's go. Just like that, the team of 6 became 5. With so many viewers watching him, Lu Gang had to pretend to be relaxed. As he walked down the dark corridor, strange noises came from the abandoned male dormitory. It sounded like a mouse crawling past, or something accidentally rubbing against the wall that was about to fall off. The weak light above them shone on the doors on both sides, and occasionally, there were names written in red on the walls. This appears to be a student dormitory. Mr. Bai probably lives somewhere else. Landong and Ali walked ahead. When they reached the end of the corridor, they realized to their surprise that there was a staircase that led deeper. There's another floor underground. The light barely reached the lowest floor. The five of them stood at the corner of the staircase, and none of them dared to be the first to go down. The rusted banister shook slightly like someone was climbing up the stairs. Landong took out his phone and shone it downward. Something seemed to be reflecting light in the darkness. Is it a mirror? Don't forget, eyes can reflect light as well. Why don't we stay here? The only girl in Landong's group spoke up. She tugged lightly on Landong's shirt. Do you remember the last time we went to investigate? Before the accident, Brother Four said he saw a pair of red eyes in the dark. Don't mention that coward to me. Ever since he left, the number of views of our videos has increased exponentially. We were dragged down by him before. There were 4 people in Landong's group, but one of them had chosen to leave due to some reason. Some people are easily influenced by those things. Brother Four is just being nice. The quiet girl hesitated. She knew that Lu Gang was live streaming, so she left some face for Landong. Girl, there are no ghosts in this world, only people pretending to be ghosts. Lu Gang placed his hand on the girl's arm. I don't believe in ghosts because I've seen many people worse than ghosts, like that haunted house boss. The girl pulled her arm back and stopped talking. This place doesn't even have a sign. Why don't we stay here? Ali suggested softly, and Lu Gang wanted to find a way out. Yes, the lights on the 3rd floor are not installed. Perhaps the haunted house is not open to the public. It's not that I don't dare go, but it's probably not ready yet. Lu Gang communicated with the viewers in the livestream, but to his surprise, the direction of the chat changed. Many people wanted to see what was on the 3rd floor, and many of the accounts even had Yi Shaoxin's fan tag. The male assistant being scared away did make Lu Gang nervous, but he reminded himself many times that this was a haunted house, and other than scaring people, there was nothing else to do. He was live streaming, and the other party could not physically touch him. If they did, then the haunted house would not be able to operate anymore. They would not be physically injured, they would just be scared. It was not like they would lose a piece of flesh. With that in mind, Lu Gang calmed down. If you want to see it, I'll bring you down. It's not a big deal. He turned on the flashlight on his phone and had Landong and Ali walk in front. He and Xiao Chun stood in the middle, and the cameraman followed at the back. Many school ghost stories are related to the stairs. The corners of the stairs are filled with yin energy, and it's where many evil things hide. Landong maintained his composure. He moved down the stairs step by step, and the flashlight shone on the path ahead. When the light reached the corner, a child's face appeared. Don't panic," he shouted. His shaking hands pushed on his glasses and aimed the phone at the corner of the stairs. There was a child squatting in the corner. His face was leaning on his shoulders like his neck was broken. "It's fine. It's just a mannequin. It looks very real." Landong carefully approached the mannequin and realized that there were many dirty balls of paper around the child. He picked up a random paper ball, and it was written with a long message. "That day, it was my shift. When I was going to empty the trash, I saw a child squatting at the corner of the stairs. His neck was very unnatural. At the time, just like you, I walked to his side and picked up the paper ball that he dropped. I Have a Haunted House will continue to be updated on Green Bean. There will be no advertisements on the site, so please bookmark and recommend Green Bean. If you like I Have a Haunted House, please bookmark I Have a Haunted House. Green Bean's updates are the fastest." Standing at the corner of the darkened stairwell, Landong held the dirty ball of paper, and the more he looked at it, the more uncomfortable he felt. "Landong, what's written on the paper?" Lu Gang asked from behind. Landong had his head lowered, and he did not speak. "Brother Dong." Ali was afraid that something might happen to Landong, so he ran over. "Don't panic, it's just a ghost story." Landong dropped the paper next to the mannequin's legs. He held the phone, squatted down, and aimed the light at the mannequin. The child looked to be only 5 or 6 years old. He wore red and white clothes, and his shoes were stained with some dark brown residue. His cuffs and collar were tied with a red string, as if he was afraid that something would escape from under his clothes. "Ghost baby." Xiao Chun walked over. She stared at the child in the corner, and her tone changed. "What's a ghost baby? Have you seen similar mannequins elsewhere?" Lu Gang was afraid. Ghost Baby is a school ghost story. Legend has it that after school, you wander around the school alone and run into a child playing with a ball in the corridor. He will ask if you want to play with him. If you don't agree, his head will fall off, and he will chase after you. If you agree, the child will disappear. Xiao Chun's voice was very soft. Then what are we waiting for? Hurry up and agree, cameraman Meng Nan urged. If you agree, something even worse will happen. The child will follow you home, and after you fall asleep, he will pull out your head. Landlord had heard of this ghost story before. Whether you agree or not, the ending is bad. This is a ghost story with no solution. No solution? I think this ghost story is meaningless. Lu Gang stood where he was and did not move. If I run into a child like this in real life, I'll definitely walk away, but this is a haunted house. Landlord did not see anything wrong with the child. He reached out to grab the mannequin's head. Actually, I've been curious why this child's head is so strange. He pulled with all his might, and the mannequin was lifted off the ground. The mannequin's head and body were one, and they could not be separated. Looks like it's just a decoration. There's no hidden mechanism. Landlord grabbed the mannequin's head and shook it back and forth. It's very sturdy. I can't pull it off at all. The hint should be on the paper strips. Landlord opened all the paper balls on the ground and looked at them. He found that the handwriting on each ball was different. What was surprising was that the last sentence on all the paper balls was, "I walked to his side just like you and picked up the paper ball he dropped." It feels like a recurring curse. Everyone who picks up the ball of paper will end badly. When Ali said that, he obviously did not consider Landlord's feelings. Compared to curses, I believe in hypnosis more. Landlord untied the red string on the mannequin's sleeves and shook it a few times. A bunch of keys fell out of the mannequin's clothes. Did we find a hidden clue? What are these keys for? I think I get it now. Landlord held the keys and matched them to the paper balls that he had picked up earlier. Look, this note says that it was my shift that day. When I was going to take out the trash, I saw a child squatting at the corner of the stairs. The second note says that when I went to room 413 to borrow some hot water for instant noodles, I saw a child squatting at the corner of the stairs. Most importantly, look at the third note. When I went to Mr. Bai's office to get my homework, I saw a child squatting at the corner of the stairs. Mr. Bai? Isn't that the person we're looking for? Lu Gang reacted. Yes. Landlord raised the keys. Based on the ghost baby's ghost story, after you agree to the ghost baby's request, the ghost baby will follow you. These keys probably correspond to those scenarios. In other words, we might have gotten the key to Mr. Bai's office by now. But isn't the thing we're looking for at Mr. Bai's place? Xiao Chun did not want to cause trouble. She had a feeling that the doll was weird. Many clues point to this Mr. Bai. He has to be an important person at the school of the afterlife. Getting the key to his office is crucial for us. Landlord frowned and put the keys away. You'd better not touch the ghost baby's things. Xiao Chun reminded him out of kindness. The keys should be a normal prop. We shouldn't scare ourselves. After knowing that the mannequin was not dangerous, Lu Gang sighed in relief and returned to normal. I suggest we stay put. I've read the ghost baby's ghost story. Wherever the ghost baby appears, there will be a lot of evil things hiding. The ghost baby is just the beginning. Xiao Chun suggested to leave, but Lu Gang was being forced by his fans. He had said earlier that if they took a step back, he would be sorry to the viewers. Girls are more careful, but don't worry, we're all here. As long as you're not alone, I promise you'll be fine. Lu Gang patted his chest. Everyone in the livestream praised Brother Gang for his loyalty. There were even some old fans of Haunted House who created accounts to cheer for Lu Gang. Perhaps from Lu Gang's perspective, it was his sincerity and charisma that had won over the enemy's fans, but in reality, he had not completely grasped the fans' mentality. When the fans were tortured to the point of death, there was a noble person who was willing to use his life to tell others that they were not the most pitiful. For such a person, such behavior, giving him a little encouragement and support was nothing. The five did not realize the severity of the male assistant's disappearance. After all, when a normal person visited a haunted house, they would not think too deeply about it. After turning the corner, they came to the lowest floor. All the lights in the corridor seemed to be broken, and the surroundings were dark. But strangely enough, they could see a faint red light at the other end of the corridor. The light was dancing like a will-o'-the-wisp. Brother Dong, something's not right. Ali patted Lan Dong's shoulder lightly. Didn't the ghost baby at the corner have his neck crooked earlier? Yes, what's wrong? Take a look again. Ali used the phone to shine the light behind him. The ghost baby's head was perched on his shoulder like it was about to be plucked off. Perhaps it's because I was grabbing his head and pulling it up. When Lan Dong said that, he felt a chill on his neck. It was as if a pair of hands were lifting his head up. Watch out, something is coming from the corridor. The cameraman suddenly shouted, and everyone turned to look at the end of the corridor. The faint red light slowly approached. When it was several meters away from them, it suddenly flashed into one of the dormitories. Is it an actor? Lan Dong used the phone to shine the light on the door. The room number was 413. 413. This number is familiar. I think I saw it on the paper ball next to the ghost baby. Lan Dong took out the ring of keys from his pocket. One of the students saw the ghost baby in the corner when he went to room 413. If this ring of keys contains the key to room 413, then it proves that my earlier speculation is correct. The red light that ran into the room earlier hasn't come out yet. If you go now, you might run into it. The cameraman was the first to notice the red light, and he whispered to advise Lan Dong. We've been here for so long, but I haven't seen the actors. Now is the perfect time to go. Lan Dong pushed on his black-rimmed glasses. His dark eyes were hidden behind the thick lenses, and no one knew what he was thinking. There are 4 of us, and there is only one of them. We can trap it inside the room, and that will give the viewers in Brother Gang's livestream a good look at the actor. Aren't you afraid? The cameraman was large, but in the dark corridor, even he was flustered. Isn't there a saying on the internet? The best way to eliminate fear is to face it, and I'm helping you now. Lan Dong's smile was creepy, and he seemed to be satisfied with his performance. With the keys in hand, Lan Dong's group stopped at the door to room 413. Meng Nan, are you sure that thing ran into this room? The camera recorded it. If you don't believe me, you can ask the viewers. Many viewers in Lu Gang's livestream saw the red light, and they were quite spooked even in broad daylight. It's not that I don't believe you. Relax, we're here to visit the haunted house, to play. Lan Dong picked up the keys and started to try them one by one. This haunted house is quite scary, but it's still far from the place where we tested our courage. At the end of the day, this haunted house is just an imitation. Creak, with a light creak, the door was opened. I was right. Lan Dong grabbed the door handle. Where do you think the actors are hiding to scare us? Behind the door? Under the bed? Or behind the curtain? Lan Dong purposely said that for the people in the room to hear. His lips curled up, and he turned to look at them. Why aren't you saying anything? Brother Dong, I think it's better if we don't stay at the bottom for too long. Little Chun's intuition has always been very accurate. Ali was the more cautious one. You really can't experience the joy of a haunted house at all. Running into scares that you don't even know when they will appear in an unknown scenario. How exciting is that? After obtaining the key item from the ghost child and solving a puzzle, Lan Dong was getting cocky. That's how a haunted house should be played. Enjoy the joy of solving puzzles and release the pressure that comes with it. Pushing open the door, Lan Dong scanned the room with his phone. At first glance, the dormitory felt very ordinary, but after staying for a long time, one would realize that there were many terrifying things hidden in the room. Behind the door hung a pair of blood-stained pajamas, and the handle of a knife poked out from under the pillow. This was clearly a male dormitory, but there were female shoes placed next to the bed, and the total number of shoes was odd, which meant that not all of the shoes here were meant to be worn. The ground was littered with torn textbooks and homework. Most of them had the same name written on them, Lin Cece. The cupboard had scratches left by a knife, and the innermost bed's armrest was dyed red. In the whole room, only that bed was filled with trash and trash. Stop hiding, come out. Lan Dong yelled into the room, but there was no response. He looked at the door, pulled back the curtain, and opened all the cupboards in the room, but he did not find the red shadow. Cameraman, are you sure that thing ran into this room? I saw it with my own eyes. I'm not wrong. Lan Dong nodded. His eyes turned, and when he reached the innermost part of the room, he suddenly squatted down and looked under the bed. Under the bed is the easiest place to hide dirty things. Lan Dong was not afraid of dirtying his clothes. He wanted to find the haunted house's actor and see for himself what kind of power they had to scare the male assistant so badly. Why isn't there anything? Landlord scratched his nose. I know, there are hidden paths in the room, and the haunted house's actors use them to travel to different scenarios. He looked around. There were black human-shaped shadows on the top bunk of the dormitory, and each shadow was covered with nails. Why are there so many nails on the wall? Is it to hint the location of the hidden path? Landlord's eyes were attracted by the nails on the wall. He climbed up the bed to take a closer look. The rest of the group wandered around the room. Ali picked up the shredded homework, and he was the first to notice the name on it. Who is Lin Cece? Continuing his search, Ali realized that many things in the room were related to Lin Cece. The dirtiest bed had Lin Cece's name, and the oldest cupboard had Lin Cece's name on it. School bullying? Is the design of this haunted house related to social issues? Ali flipped through Lin Cece's bed and found a phone under the wet pillow. What? A haunted house uses a phone as a prop? Isn't the boss afraid that the visitors will steal the phone? I've never heard of a haunted house using a phone as a prop. The actor probably left in a hurry and forgot to take it with him. Lu Gang looked at the camera and smiled. Doesn't look like it. Ali pressed the power button, and soon the phone screen lit up. It's still working? I told you it's the haunted house's workers. The workers here are so unprofessional. Lu Gang held the fan, but there was curiosity in his eyes. The phone probably has the conversation between the boss and his workers. They must be in constant contact to scare us. Not really. Ali was more honest. The phone only has 4 functions: message, phone, photo, and camera. There's no password, and... Ali clicked on the screen and scanned the surroundings. There's a message saying that this phone can capture things that normal people can't see. He was just testing it, but when the phone scanned Landong's bed, he suddenly screamed. His grip loosened, and the phone fell to the ground. Landong, who was squatting on the upper bed, was also spooked by Ali. He turned to yell, "What are you doing?" "Brother Dong." Ali's face was pale, and he stuttered, "When I scanned you with my phone, I saw a rag doll on your neck. She was grabbing your neck with both hands, and it felt like she was going to pull your head off. I've been reading the comments and chapters, but I've been avoiding it. Today, I officially apologize to all the readers. As a full-time writer, I've been updating more than 2,000 words a day for more than half a year. The problem lies with me, and I hope that everyone will not argue. Whether it's criticism or defense, I just hope that everyone will have a better time reading this book." Quote. Chen Ge is also in the service industry. He can work 24/7. As a writer, I should also work harder. I'll set a small goal for now. Before March, I'll make sure to update 4,000 words a day. If I can't do that, just leave a comment under this sentence. Another problem is the water problem. I didn't manage the rhythm well, and my condition is deteriorating. I always want to bury some thin lines, but the more I write, the more scattered they become. I've forgotten the essence of attracting readers: fast, fierce, and accurate. Perhaps it had something to do with the fact that I had read a lot of detective books. I wanted to use methods other than ghosts to give the reader a chill down their spine, or to obtain a sense of satisfaction when the answer was revealed. However, it was obvious that I didn't do it well. I didn't write what I wanted, and I even lost the parts I'm good at. Also, some readers are curious about what I do every day. Actually, after thinking about it for half a year, I feel that I'm not too suited to be a web novelist. I'll be happier if I write as a hobby. During this time, I tried some ideas. I got a gym card and taught myself Japanese. I wanted to take the counseling exam, but the results were not satisfactory. I couldn't keep up with the gym in Japanese. After I finished the counseling online course, I realized that I was tricked. Luckily, I found a reliable one. It's hard to finish 2019. The beginning of 2020 was difficult, but since the beginning was already so difficult, it will only get better in the future. Finally, I apologize again. Good night. The atmosphere in room 413 turned strange. Ali was Landong's best friend, so naturally, he would not help the haunted house to scare Landong. He should have really seen a ghost earlier. Chen Ge Listening Network. Are there really ghosts in the world? Lu Gang shook his head and chased this unrealistic thought out of his mind. He did not believe Ali's words, so he reached out to pick up the phone from the ground. A few years ago, I saw a similar app on the App Store. I think it can add ghosts to a normal shot. At the time, many people downloaded this app to prank their friends. The camera was still on, and Lu Gang aimed the phone at Lan Dong. There was nothing on Lan Dong's neck, but the wall behind him was weird. The human-shaped stain that was pinned down by the nails seemed to be moving. There is nothing on his neck. Lu Gang showed it to everyone, it's all a lie. Brother Gang, I've used the app you mentioned before, but it has already been removed from the App Store. Do you know why it was banned by all the platforms? For some reason, Xiao Chun disliked Lu Gang. Perhaps she did not like this kind of pretentious, greasy uncle. Why? Someone used that app to really see ghosts. The App Store wouldn't say something like that, but I have a friend who experienced it personally. Xiao Chun glanced at the camera. Brother Gang, I know you don't believe in ghosts. You can choose not to believe, but you can't disrespect them, especially at a place like this. Girl, you're young, but you sure know how to talk. Lu Gang did not think much of it. Our relationship hasn't reached the point where you can call me little girl. Xiao Chun was a sensitive person. She did not like to speak, but people like that were more sensitive to the small changes around them. Ever since she entered this haunted house, she realized that everyone's emotions were purposely led, and the dark side of their personality was slowly exposed. This haunted house was like a maze that would only get deeper and deeper. Outside the haunted house, everyone was so friendly, so how come it changed after entering? Is it because of the background music? Or is the rendering of the scene too depressing? Xiao Chun did not know how to comment on such a haunted house. The good thing was that those who had been suppressed in the real world for too long could come to the haunted house to vent their frustrations and be their truest selves in this dark and terrifying underground world. After leaving, they could put on the mask again and work hard to live. The bad thing was that the process of transformation was destined to be filled with screams and horror. Supernatural app. The people in the room were arguing. Lan Dong touched his neck and knelt on the bed. When Ali shone on me earlier, I did feel a chill on my neck like there was an invisible pair of hands pulling on my head. Later, when Brother Gang shone on me, that feeling disappeared. Is there really a ghost? The cameraman, Meng Nan, muttered softly. He was a professional cameraman, and under normal circumstances, he would not speak during filming unless he could not help it. I don't know whether there are ghosts in this world or not, but I am certain that someone is pretending to be a ghost inside this haunted house. Perhaps he is hiding behind the camera and laughing at the screen. Lan Dong looked at the corner of the room. He wants to see us embarrass ourselves, but I will not let him get what he wants. Lan Dong jumped down from the upper bunk. Let's go. Now that I've obtained the key to the key rooms, we only need to open these rooms one by one, and we should be able to clear the haunted house. Shouldn't we continue to search? I've looked around, and there seems to be a case of bullying in this dormitory. The boy who was bullied is called Lin Sisi, the owner of the phone. Ali, we're looking for the art club. Don't be distracted by unrelated things. Lan Dong's face tensed. But I just looked at the phone. There are several messages related to the art club. Ali opened Lin Sisi's phone and clicked on the messages. Sender. Mr. Bai, Lin Sisi, from today onwards, you will be staying in room 413. Get along well with your classmates and don't let your parents down. Sender. The painter, Lin Sisi, why did you hide a knife under your pillow? Don't you know you have a habit of sleepwalking? Sender. The painter, Lin Sisi, what is your favorite color, dark red, or dark red? Sender. The painter, Lin Sisi, I've seen your painting. Welcome to the art club. Ali showed the messages to everyone. This Lin Sisi is one of the members of the art club. From their messages, we can find several clues. The president of the art club should be the painter, so this club is definitely not a normal hobby club that only knows how to paint. They're probably a bunch of madmen. I have a feeling that this mission that we've drawn is not as simple as it sounds. You're worrying too much. Before Ali finished, Lan Dong cut him off. The mission has been drawn, and it cannot be changed. Our priority is to find the art club as soon as possible. Wait a minute. Ali did not follow Lan Dong out. He pulled back Lin Sisi's mattress and opened Lin Sisi's dresser. Finally, he found a handmade wooden box at the bottom of the dresser. Lin Sisi is a member of the art club. There might be an oil painting in his room. The wooden box that Ali found was similar to the wooden box that they had drawn outside the haunted house, so it should have been made by the same person. Opening the box, A faded smell of blood drifted into their nostrils. Someone had very roughly shoved a folded oil painting into the box. Folding it like that will damage the painting. Oh well, the boss probably doesn't understand art. This painting is just a prop that he can change at any time. Lu Gang opened the painting to take a look. Even though they were amateurs, they were shocked by the scene in the painting. The painting was upside down, and the blood red and white formed a strong contrast. It was chilling. It was unclear what material the canvas was made from, but it was cold to the touch. After opening the whole painting, the creases on it slowly recovered like a human skin could heal on its own after being cut. Ali, you've done a good job. Lu Gang's group had been inside the haunted house for 10 minutes, and they finally found the first painting. Let's go. We still need to find 12 more oil paintings. Landlord left the dormitory without turning back. Ali carefully placed the painting back into the box. When he closed the lid, the image of Lin Cece being beaten up appeared in his mind. The small child begged for mercy, but no one answered. Shivering, Ali looked around. Don't come looking for me, I'm just an errand boy. His eyes moved, and when he saw the wall, Ali was startled. How come one of the human-shaped stains on the wall is missing? Brother Dong seemed to have sat there earlier. He had a very bad feeling. Subconsciously, he took out Lin Cece's phone and aimed it at Landlord. Everything about Landlord looked normal, but his shadow was quite conspicuous. Nothing followed him. Looks like I was overthinking it. I have a haunted house's error-free chapters will continue to be updated on the mobile game bar. There are no advertisements on the site, so please bookmark and recommend the mobile game bar. I have a haunted house. I have a haunted house. Ali hugged the wooden box and walked at the back of the group. He was honest and not as sensitive as Xiao Chun, but he felt like something was wrong. Why does the name Lin Cece keep appearing in my mind? Is it because I've taken his painting? But that's impossible. It should be a psychological effect. Walking down the dark corridor, Ali's mind started to wander. His memory seemed to be overshadowed by something, and in his daze, he saw a thin boy standing not far away. He could not see his face, and there were no obvious wounds on his body, but his clothes were tattered, and the zipper of his bag was torn. His hair was wet, and his face was covered in mud. Compared to his dirty body, the boy's numbness was even more heart-wrenching. You, what? Meng Nan was shocked by Ali. Is there something you need? No, nothing, I'm sorry. Ali quickly apologized. He looked around, but there were no children. Strangely enough, the eerie and creepy place gave him a sense of familiarity, like he had been here before. Did I come to this place when I was young, or have I dreamt of it in my nightmare? Arriving at a strange place, there was a sense of familiarity in his heart. Many people had experienced this before. If this was a normal tourist attraction, it would not have mattered much, but this was the third underground floor of a haunted house, a restricted area that did not even have lights installed. Once he started to think, many scary scenes appeared in Ali's mind. The child was forced into the corner of the classroom and pushed into the toilet cubicle. Twisted faces smiled at him and splashed ink and dirty water at him. Enough! Ali suddenly shouted, scaring the few people in front of him into shivering. Landlord, what's wrong with your friend? I can't even hold the camera properly. Meng Nan was very dissatisfied. Brother, are you okay? Lu Gang looked at Ali with a frown. Since this was a live stream, he had to maintain his composure. I don't know, it just feels like I've been here before. Ali grumbled. Perhaps you've dreamt of it. Didn't the news report say that many people who woke up from their coma dreamt of this haunted house? I have a feeling those reporters are not lying. Cough cough. Lu Gang interrupted Ali. He quickly gave the cameraman a hand signal, and Muscle understood and moved the camera. Removing the microphone from his collar, Lu Gang whispered to Ali, "We're here to crack down on fakes. Understand? Even if you want to put on a show, there should be a limit." Lu Gang's expression changed quickly. He had just praised Ali in the dormitory, but in the blink of an eye, his tone had changed. It's true, Ali wanted to say something, but Lu Gang was too lazy to listen. He signaled for Landlord to come over. Teach your friend a lesson. Putting the pickup back on, Lu Gang returned to normal. He walked before the camera and calmly explained to the audience that what happened earlier was just a small interlude. The camera purposely moved away, and the sound became softer. All sorts of abnormalities caused even more discussion among the netizens. Seeing that many people in his livestream were talking about the news and Chen Ge's haunted house, Lu Gang was even more annoyed. Earlier, my friend was just joking. Please don't take it seriously. We've been visiting with the attitude of having fun, and now, we're officially going to crack down on fakes. Whether or not Chen Ge's haunted house was scary, Lu Gang did not need to say much. The atmosphere inside the haunted house was proof enough. Even if Lu Gang kept joking, it could not lessen the horror. A haunted house that relies on selling trending searches, lying to the visitors, and fooling the audience wants to be popular. Whether it was real or not, Lu Gang first wanted to give Chen Ge's haunted house a few false accusations so that he could stand on the moral high ground. It was as if doing that would give him a sense of purpose, and he would not be afraid anymore. No more wasting time. Today, I will unveil its true face before everyone. Lu Gang was agitated. Just as he said that, the phone in his pocket suddenly rang. This was his personal phone, and not many people knew his number. Lu Gang hesitated before slowly pressing the answer button. Before he could react, the male assistant's hysterical voice came from the other end of the phone. "Brother Gang. This haunted house is really haunted, above our heads. All the ghosts are crawling above our heads." The male assistant seemed to be running, and he was gasping for air. "Where have you been? Whose phone is this?" Lu Gang's heart skipped a beat. He had just put on the microphone, and now everyone in the livestream could hear the male assistant's voice. "I was saved by the other visitors. Go back. There is no way out of this haunted house. If you don't leave now, it'll be too late. Don't come any closer. Help. There are ghosts everywhere. There are ghosts everywhere." The male assistant's desperate cries slapped Lu Gang's face. His eyes twitched, and he immediately hung up. He was there to expose the haunted house, but now it looked like he was promoting the haunted house before the whole internet. "My assistant's acting is too exaggerated, and I apologize for that." Before Lu Gang finished, the cameraman's phone started to vibrate. Someone sent him voice messages. Without thinking much, the cameraman clicked on one, and then the male assistant's voice appeared again. "Lu Gang. Run. Trust me. The ghosts are beside you. They are right next to you." The corridor was very quiet, so the male assistant's voice was especially shrill. The man was so desperate that he called Lu Gang by his full name. "Turn off the phone. We need to focus on exploring the haunted house." Lu Gang's face was pale. If not for the camera, he would have exploded already. "Okay, Brother Gang." Meng Nan had promised verbally to turn off the phone, but in reality, he did not do so. This man was very meticulous, and he knew the male assistant very well. He knew that the man was not acting. He was really scared out of his wits. After replying to the male assistant's message, Meng Nan switched the phone to silent mode and shoved it into his pocket. "Lu Gang. I will not harm you. Answer me." Holding a female phone, the male assistant ran down the narrow corridor. His hair was a mess, and there were tears at the corner of his eyes. His voice was hoarse from all the shouting. "Stop yelling. Are you trying to get us all killed?" Before the male assistant was a student couple. A middle-aged man and a beautiful female visitor. It was the middle-aged man who had spoken earlier. The shadows moved in the corridor behind them, and they could hear the approaching footsteps. This way. The middle-aged man found an open classroom at the corner of the corridor. Without giving it much thought, he pulled the woman behind him and ran into the classroom. The student couple also prepared to run toward the classroom, but at that moment, the male assistant used all his strength to overtake the couple. After he rushed into the classroom, he gritted his teeth and slammed the classroom door shut. "What the f***ck? Open the door. We lent you our phone, and this is how you treat us." The student couple knocked heavily on the door, but the male assistant locked the door from the inside. The footsteps approached, and the student couple had no choice but to leave. The footsteps were attracted away by them. "Thankfully, I was decisive, or else even if we hid here, we would have been surrounded, and none of us would have been able to escape." The male assistant did that subconsciously. In a 4-star scenario, he seemed to have shed his normal disguise and exposed his real self. Gasping for air, the male assistant held the phone that the student couple had lent him tightly and leaned against the door to rest. "I'm doing this for everyone's sake. By the way, I haven't thanked you yet. How should I address you?" "You can call me Lao Zhou, and this is my girlfriend, Duan Yu." The middle-aged man enthusiastically introduced his girlfriend to the male assistant. He seemed to enjoy doing things like that, but the female visitor was quite annoyed. Zhou Zhe, I was chased by ghosts earlier. Thank you for saving me and allowing me to come with you. The male assistant seemed to have forgotten what he had just done. He knew it was dangerous to be alone, so he wanted to get closer to Lao Zhou and Duan Yu. It's only right. One more person means one more force. I didn't expect this haunted house to be so scary. So, all the ghosts are above us. If we look at them upside down, we'll be able to see them. Lao Zhou sucked in a cold breath. Duan Yu next to him scoffed. One more person means one more force? Earlier, the man blocked the door to stop the two students from entering. This kind of person. If he didn't do that, all of us would be trapped here. He has his reasons. Lao Zhou's words resonated with the male assistant's heart. I understand you. After experiencing so much, you've seen through it. Nothing is easy in the adult world. Who doesn't want to be an innocent child forever? Zhou Zhe, you know me best. Despair, fear, and exhaustion. Under these circumstances, the male assistant felt a warmth that he had not felt for a long time from Lao Zhou. Of course. Lao Zhou patted the male assistant on his shoulder to give him encouragement. I saw you were on the phone earlier. I wanted to ask if your people have received your warning. We need to meet up with the rest as soon as possible. It's too scary to be alone in this haunted house. Don't worry, Brother Gang probably did not answer because he was live streaming, but I did manage to contact the cameraman, and he replied to my message. The male assistant opened his mailbox, and there was a message from Muscleman. I also feel like this haunted house is not right. Talk to me later. In other words, they already believe that you're using this phone to communicate with them. Lao Zhou's words had a deeper meaning. Before the male assistant could react, Lao Zhou was already standing at the classroom door. Zhou Zhe, what is the meaning of this? The male assistant had a bad feeling about this. I understand you, and I hope you can understand me. Blood leaked out from under the shirt, and ghastly wounds appeared. Lao Zhou's face was as white as paper. You have to understand that nothing in the adult world is easy. Who doesn't want to be an innocent child forever? The thin hands reached for the male assistant. By then, the male assistant's eyes were bulging out of their sockets. His legs gave out, and he collapsed to the ground. However, he bumped into something. Slowly turning back, he saw a female body that had been pieced together dangling behind him. No matter how hard he tried, he could not say a word. The male assistant's whole body was shaking until his eyes rolled back, and he collapsed heavily to the ground. Lao Zhou picked up the phone from the male assistant's palm and memorized Lu Gang and the cameraman's number. Then, he used the phone to send another message to the cameraman. Come and meet up with me as soon as possible. I think I found the way out. Lu Gang's group moved through the third basement floor. When they turned the corner, the cameraman silently took out his phone to take a look. There was a new message on it. Come and meet up with me. I seem to have found the way out. The assistant has found the way out. The cameraman did not tell Lu Gang about this and sent a message back. Where are you? Where can I find you? Meng Nan did not plan to share this information with others. He knew Lu Gang too well. The man had boasted in front of millions of viewers. Due to his pride, Lu Gang would not choose to escape, but Meng Nan was different. He was only invited by Lu Gang, so why should he suffer with Lu Gang? This haunted house is too strange. If there's another problem, I'll leave with the male assistant. Meng Nan had a rough plan in his mind. He held the camera with one hand and placed the other in his pocket. He looked like he did not care, but he was actually ready to take out his phone to communicate with the male assistant. Moments later, the male assistant sent another message. There is a hidden path in the school. I saw a worker push open the mirror in the library, and there is a hidden path behind the mirror. Looking at the message from the male assistant, Meng Nan was reminded of the note left on the ground after the male assistant disappeared. It had the same message. There was indeed a hidden path in the school that could lead to the east and west campuses. He did not lie to me. Meng Nan typed with one hand. You're at the library now? Yes. Where are you? Brother Gang is going to the staff dormitory. He has been drugged by Landlord, and he won't listen to anyone else. The haunted house is too dangerous. I don't dare go to you. Try to persuade him. We'll meet up on the first floor of the library. Remember this. It's the first floor. There will be scare points around the path. You have to be careful. The male assistant reminded him again and again. This made Meng Nan even more certain that it was the male assistant who had sent the message. Okay. The cameraman memorized the message on the phone. He did not tell Lu Gang about this. The few walked out of the male dormitory, and they were in a bad state. Time seemed to freeze in this haunted house, and every second was tortuous. There was no way out, and there was no end. Hope was slowly being extinguished, and despair was like a poisonous weed growing in their hearts. The color of the wall changed, and a fork appeared in front of him. On the left was the office building, and on the right was the staff dormitory. We'll go to the apartment first. There should be information about the art club hidden inside Mr. Bai's room. Ali leaned against the wall. His eyes wandered, and there seemed to be the shadow of a child standing in his pupils. Okay, after we leave the teacher's dormitory, we can go to the office to take a look. Lan Dong took out the ring of keys. I'm curious what kind of secrets Mr. Bai is hiding. I think it's better if we don't run around. Ali used to be Lan Dong's follower, and he would never argue with Lan Dong, but ever since he entered the haunted house, Ali had slowly changed. Lan Dong glanced at Ali, ignored him, and went straight into the classroom apartment. The apartment was separated into 2 floors. They did not know which room Mr. Bai was staying in, so they could only search each room one by one. Gradually, footsteps could be heard in the quiet corridor again. The sound was very strange, as if it was coming from above. Something's coming. We have to hurry. Don't stay on the first floor. Mr. Bai's room should be on the 2nd floor. Ali suddenly shouted. He pressed on his temples, and his memory seemed to be overlapping. He could remember the exact location of Mr. Bai's room. He seems to be staying in the middle of the corridor on the 2nd floor. Lu Gang was live streaming, so he did not say anything to Ali. He merely smiled. You're not an employee, so how do you know where Mr. Bai is staying? Lan Dong frowned. Have you found some clues that you haven't shared with us? I suddenly remembered. This place gives me a sense of familiarity. Really, I think I've been here before. Ali did not care what the livestream viewers thought anymore. He was very afraid, and that scary sense of familiarity was driving him crazy. They're coming. We can't waste time. We need to go down now. Ali was agitated. He seemed to have seen something that others could not. Without giving them the chance to speak, he turned and ran down the 2nd floor. Xiao Dong, is there something wrong with your brother's mind? Meng Nan could not stand Ali. He was acting like a madman. He's normally very normal. Lan Dong and Xiao Chun followed behind him, and the group entered the 2nd floor. They pushed open the door in the middle of the corridor and found many things related to Mr. Bai, including the copy of Mr. Bai's class ID and many letters written to Mr. Bai by the students. This is Mr. Bai's home. How did Ali know about this? With the truth before them, everyone turned to look at Ali. The people who mocked Ali in the livestream shut their mouths. Did you hide the clues? Lan Dong was angry. He grabbed Ali's collar. Why would you do that? Brother Dong, I really just remembered this place. I remember this Mr. Bai. I feel like I've been here before. The rumor about the world after death might be real. Ali wanted to cry. He was honest, and he was telling the truth. T. Stop arguing. Xiao Chun found a document on the living room table. The cover said Supernatural Study Society's 7th report. This was left behind by Mr. Bai. Come and take a look. The handwriting was messy, and only half of it was written. As the teacher in charge of the Supernatural Study Society, I've noticed something weird during the club activities. The members of the art club have disappeared one by one. Where have they gone? After following them, I realized that the message they left behind had the word, heaven. The art students have gone to heaven? What does that mean? Are we supposed to go to heaven to find the art club? To complete the mission in heaven? The cameraman mumbled to himself. Heaven is the world after death. Does this mean a place in the document? Or have all the art club members been killed? Lan Dong's frown deepened. We found the 7th report. To find the truth, we need to find the 1st to the 6th report. In any case, the general direction has been confirmed. We need to find heaven at this school of the afterlife. Heaven, Ali seemed to be triggered. He barged into the camera and stood before Lu Gang. Brother Gang, we cannot go to that place. We need to leave now. Leave? Lu Gang resisted the urge to slap Ali and pushed him to the side. There is no need to leave. We've found the clue. Let's go to the office now. The few were about to leave when they heard the barking of a dog. Why is there a dog in a haunted house? Before they could react, the door to Mr. Bai's room was suddenly closed. The footsteps faded away. The person who closed the door was wearing Mr. Bai's certificate. He held an old-fashioned phone in his hand, and his voice sounded gentle and kind. 20 minutes have passed. Increasing the difficulty. Tong Tong. Contact the big sister inside the tree hole. It's time for her to show up. At the same time, in the middle of the school of the afterlife, a headless female body in a red dress slowly walked to the tree hole. She personally took out her own head from the hole. Blood dripped, and a smile appeared on the woman's beautiful face. With their escape cut off, the barking became clearer, and Lu Gang's group panicked. We've been tricked. Look around. Where is this barking coming from? Don't panic. The 5 of us are together. Even if the haunted house's actors come out, there's nothing to be afraid of. The haunted house will not design a puzzle that cannot be solved. There have to be clues around us. Look for them. The few of them were in a mess, but it was the only female, Xiao Chun, who stood up. There are 2 pairs of slippers in the shoe cabinet, one big and one small. There are also 2 cups of different sizes on the dining table. Look at the greeting cards on the sofa. Xiao Chun raised the card that she had just found. The words on it were still wet. Happy birthday to my daughter. You've always wanted a pet, so today, Daddy will give you a big dog. The big dog is Mr. Bai's birthday present for his daughter. The barking probably came from somewhere in the room. We can't stay here for too long, we have to find a way to leave. Xiao Chun rushed to the door. She pulled on the door, and with a click, the door opened. Everyone in the room was stunned. The door is not locked. This small prank made the panicking group blush. Lu Gang coughed dryly. Let's go out first. The barking grew louder, and the weak lights in the room started to flicker. A large shadow appeared on the wall. Muscle Man was the first to rush out of the room. He did not run far before he stopped. What's wrong, Brother Gang? Look in the middle of the corridor. There was a child's mannequin placed in the middle of the corridor. They had seen this mannequin on the stairs of the male dormitory before. Ghost baby. The scary head stood on its neck, and its round eyes stared at something behind Muscle Man and Lu Gang. Why did it follow us? Did it close the door? The more Muscle Man spoke, the more afraid he became. He could barely hold the camera. By then, the live stream had exploded. The chat was flooded, but Lu Gang did not care. He realized that the mannequin's eyes were like a human's eyes, and they contained many emotions. Look at the mannequin's eyes. It seems to be staring at someone. Lu Gang followed the mannequin's gaze and saw Landlord, who was the last to leave the room. The mannequin is holding a grudge. Landlord took its key. Take its head. Why are you all looking at me? Landlord wore thick black-rimmed glasses. He walked toward Lu Gang and Meng Nan, but the two retreated. Xiao Dong, the mannequin seems to be looking for you. Meng Nan opened his mouth and pushed the responsibility of the mannequin onto Landlord. Looking for me? When Landlord saw the mannequin, he also had goosebumps, but he maintained his calmness. You've been influenced by the haunted house. If you think about it, you'll know that this mannequin was moved here by the haunted house's workers, and it was the workers who closed the door earlier. Brother Dong, listen to me. You'd better return the key to Ghost Child. You can't simply take things. Xiaochen tried to persuade him. Unfortunately, Landlord was stubborn and did not listen to anyone else. The appearance of the ghost baby here has to be the work of the haunted house's workers. Their actions only confirm the importance of the set of keys. Landlord held the key in his hand and looked down at the mannequin. If it's really a ghost, then why don't you come and take it from me? Before he could finish his sentence, Landlord's neck suddenly stiffened. It was as if something had wrapped itself around his neck and was trying to pull his head off. His arms shook and the key fell to the ground. Landlord held his neck with both hands, and his face turned purple. Brother Dong, Lu Gang and the cameraman were scared out of their wits. It was Ali who reacted the fastest. He took out Lin Cici's phone and aimed the camera at Landlord. Above your head, on screen, a girl was standing on Landlord's shoulders, and her hands were pulling Landlord's head off. Ghost Child is real. Their bond of brotherhood was weak and fragile at that moment. Ali held the phone and quickly retreated. Then, he saw the shadow behind Landlord twist and turn. The situation was critical. Just when everyone was panicking, something even worse happened, the peerless Tang sect. Foe at the end of the corridor, blood vessels crawled, and an indescribable pressure came. His heart was beating so fast that it felt like it was going to jump out of his chest. Following the sound of footsteps, a blood-red shadow appeared at the corner of the corridor. She was hugging her own head, and she moved at a moderate speed. What is that? His body started to feel fear, and the fear that he had accumulated since he entered the haunted house exploded at that moment. Run! Xiao Chun was a girl with superhuman sensitivity. She was the first to run in the opposite direction from the headless woman. She was decisive. Following closely behind her was Ali. Before the poor Ali could recover from the shock of seeing the phone screen, he was frightened by the headless woman again. He shoved Lin Cici's phone into his pocket, grabbed the wooden box with the oil painting, and turned to run. Calm down. Don't run away, Meng Nan. Go and stop them. We're live streaming with millions of viewers. Lu Gang wanted to give the order, but no one listened to him. Before Lu Gang finished, he saw Meng Nan put down the camera and turned to run. Come back here. Lu Gang's face was twisted from anger. He turned to look behind him, and the headless woman had closed the distance between them. Lu Gang tried to maintain his composure, but his body started to run involuntarily, and the camera finally caught Lu Gang's back. Wait for me. F***ck. Landong also wanted to run, but he could not move his feet. It was like there was a pair of hands in the shadow that grabbed his legs. The headless woman came closer and closer. Landong gritted his teeth and ran into Mr. Bai's room. Bang! He closed the door, and before he could catch his breath, he saw a scary scene. The ghost doll was standing in the middle of the living room. When did it get in? Collapsing to the ground, Landong's mind was a mess, and then he heard the barking of a dog. Turning his head subconsciously, he saw that the bedroom door had been pushed open, and a broken, bloodied mannequin fell into his arms. Before he could scream, he saw a huge black dog staring at him from inside the bedroom. Then, it leapt out. Ah! Landong used all his strength to grab the doorknob, and he pulled the door open. The moment the door opened, a woman's face appeared in front of Landong. The face had a kind of intellectual, morbid beauty, but Landong soon realized one thing. He was lying on the ground. He slowly raised his head, and his memory stopped at the red dress. Save me. The red specter at the door did not leave. The head in her hand scanned the room seriously. She rushed into the living room, and the headless woman grabbed the ghost doll in the living room. Her cold hands reached into the ghost doll's clothes. She twisted her fingers lightly, and the doll was split in half. A doll that was hidden inside fell out. The doll was cute and delicate. It was Xiao Xiao, who had been running around the haunted house. After seeing the headless woman, Xiao Xiao did not say anything. She crawled out silently, but she was stopped by the headless woman. The headless woman pointed at the mark on Landong's neck. She searched inside the red specter and took out a few pages that were stuck together by blood. One could still see the words Employee Code of Conduct on them. Flipping through the pages, the headless woman's finger moved to the 8th rule: no physical contact between employees and visitors. Xiao Xiao crawled on top of the black dog's head. She grabbed the dog's ears and covered her own eyes like she could not see anything. Looking at Xiao Xiao, who was acting shamelessly, the headless woman continued to flip through the rules and pointed at the 21st rule. Violation of the rules will result in corresponding punishment. This time, Xiao Xiao panicked. She pointed at Landong and then strangled her own neck like she was saying that the man started it. Stop, wait for me. Lu Gang held his waist. He really could not run anymore. The female ghost isn't chasing us, stop running. Hearing that the female ghost was not following them, the few young people who were running stopped. Where's Brother Dong? Ali turned around and realized that Landong was not following them. The team of 5 had turned into 4. Has Landong been captured by the female ghost? I heard his scream when I was running. The cameraman gasped for air. Ignore Landong for now. Where's your camera? Lu Gang pointed at Meng Nan and cursed. F***ck. Each of you runs faster than the last. What are you afraid of? There are 5 of us. Brother Gang, you can't blame me. I wasn't the one who ran first. Meng Nan pointed at Xiao Chun. That girl was the first to run. If I didn't run, I would have ended up like Landong. Listen to me. Xiao Chun's face was pale. I've been sensitive since I was young. Sometimes, my body will feel an inexplicable chill. When I was very young, my father once brought me to the village elders. The elders said that I attract evil spirits. Whenever I feel that chill, it means that something is passing by. Xiao Chun's voice was stuttering. Do you know? When the headless red-dressed female ghost appeared just now, I felt a chill run down my spine, as if I was thrown into an ice cave. You're saying that the headless actor is a ghost? Lu Gang's brows were creased. He did not believe that there would be such a ridiculous thing in the world. It might not be a ghost. Perhaps the actor's clothes were worn by a dead person, and something is attached to them. In any case, we have to stay away from the headless actress, Xiao Chun insisted. It's not a problem to hide from the actress, but the camera is still there. Lu Gang glared at Meng Nan. I'm here to expose fake news, but you tossed the camera away. What will the netizens think? They make it sound like I'm afraid. The more he thought about it, the angrier he became. Lu Gang waved his fan several times. Before we came, they said that each of you is better than the last, but now that you're in trouble, you run faster than the last. Brother Gang, calm down. You were panicking earlier. How about we go back now? Ali hugged the wooden box. He had good stamina. Brother Dong is still behind us. We can go back and help him. If you want to go back, go back. I'm not going. Meng Nan shook his head firmly. There are 6 of us in a group, and we've lost 2 people in less than 10 minutes. If we continue to move alone, we'll only be killed by the haunted house. To be honest, if it weren't for Brother Gang, I would have quit a long time ago. Then what do you think we should do? Ali was worried about Landong's safety. Let's contact Bai Buhui and the others first. Let's regroup. The more people there are, the less afraid we will be. Meng Nan was still more rational. Let's ignore Landong for now. If not for him saying that we should split up, we wouldn't have ended up like this. The cameraman Meng Nan pushed the blame to the rest, and the rest did not refute, which was equivalent to tacitly agreeing. Alright, I'll call Bai Buhui. Lu Gang took out his phone to call Bai Buhui. Bai Buhui, where are you? What happened? On the other end of the phone, Bai Buhui's voice sounded normal. Their group did not seem to have run into anything too scary. Come and meet up with us now. We are now at. Lu Gang looked around and realized that he had no idea where he was. They had been running aimlessly earlier, and they had lost their way. Never mind, we'll meet up at the intersection between the teacher's dormitory and the office building. The teacher's dormitory? Aren't you in the lab building now? There was a trace of surprise in Bai Buhui's voice, and when Lu Gang heard that, he was even more confused. You're dreaming, right? We just ran out from the teacher's dormitory. That's impossible. We were worried about you, so we've been following behind you. We followed your footsteps. Earlier, the footsteps entered the lab building, and I saw your shadows. After Bai Buhui said that, the people on both sides of the phone had a strange feeling. That's a haunted house actor in disguise. Come back here now. We'll go to the teacher's dormitory together. Lu Gang pulled on his already thin hair. Wait, why do you keep telling us to go to the teacher's dormitory? Bai Buhui was suspicious. I heard there are actors at this haunted house who are good at imitating other people's accents. Imitate your sister. Come here now. Lu Gang was furious, and he was extremely agitated. Okay, don't wander off. We'll be there in 10 minutes. Bai Buhui felt like Lu Gang was about to break down, so he quickly moved. After hanging up, Lu Gang's eyes were red. The 4 of us can't be separated anymore. No matter what happens, don't be afraid. Yes, Brother Gang is right. Meng Nan and Ali nodded in agreement. We'll go back the way we came. The female ghost should be stalled by Landong. Our main goal is to retrieve the camera. When they were cheering each other on, the sound of blood dripping appeared in the corridor again. The dripping sound seemed to appear directly in one's mind. Even if they covered their ears, they could still hear it clearly. Xiao Chun's face paled immediately. She subconsciously wanted to run, but her slender arm was grabbed by Lu Gang. Stop running. You're just scaring yourself. When you face her for real, you'll realize that she's just so-so. Lu Gang grabbed Xiao Chun with one hand and Ali with the other. Let her come here. We'll stand here and see what she's capable of. Don't let go. Xiao Chun's scalp was numb, and a chill crawled up her heart. The 3 of them stood in front, but Meng Nan silently took a step back. He took out his phone, and there were messages from the male assistant. Why aren't you here yet? I'll wait for you for 3 more minutes. I found the secret passage. The secret passage is behind the last row of mirrors on the second floor of the library. I'll go in to take a look. That was not easy. We've finally escaped. It's been a long time. The last message from the male assistant was a picture. The weak sunlight shone in through the gap. Seeing the picture, Meng Nan stopped hesitating. He slowed down and continued to retreat. To protect his image before the millions of viewers, Lu Gang would not run away, so he had to abandon him. Even though it was shameful for him to abandon Lu Gang's closest male assistant had also run away. That assistant was the most shameful deserter. With that in mind, the pressure on Meng Nan's heart lightened. He moved faster and faster, and he accidentally stepped on a pebble. The strange sound behind them made Lu Gang, Xiao Chun, and Ali turn back at the same time. The three stared at Meng Nan, who was several meters away, and they did not react immediately. I know where the exit is. Follow me. Meng Nan ignored the awkwardness and ran faster. Ali also shook off Lu Gang and chased after him. Come back. Lu Gang's anger reached his heart. He looked at Xiao Chun, who was struggling with all her might. He steeled his heart and pushed Xiao Chun toward the headless woman before he escaped as well. Xiao Chun's body froze. The chill that came from her heart caused her body to shiver. She was certain that the woman who was about to come had something dirty on her, and it was not a normal dirty thing but something even more indescribable. Because of her previous experience, she was more afraid than anyone else. The red specter approached, and the blood dripped before her. Xiao Chun looked at the head that was hugged in her arms, and her psychological barrier crumbled. A shrill scream echoed down the corridor. Bai Buhui, who was running toward the teacher's dormitory, heard it as well. It's the girl who doesn't like to talk, oh no. The five rushed to the teacher's dormitory, and from afar, they saw two figures in the corridor. Lu Gang. Bai Buhui ran over in a hurry, but when he got close, he realized that the two were not Lu Gang's group but the visitors that he had met earlier. One of them was a middle-aged man, and the other appeared to be his wife. Have you seen Lu Gang? He's the man with the folding fan? Bai Buhui was not worried about Lu Gang's safety. He was worried that Haunted House would use Lu Gang to turn the tables. I have no idea. The middle-aged man was confused as well. After we heard the scream, we ran over, but when we arrived, there was only this camera left. The middle-aged man was an honest person, and his wife did not look like someone who was good at lying. The few stood in the corridor for a while. Bai Buhui did not notice that the middle-aged man and the woman had been standing outside the camera. Little ghost, go get the camera. Bai Buhui felt like there was a problem here, and he wanted to get to the bottom of it. Why should I go? Little ghost did not know Bai Buhui's identity, so he ignored him. Stop arguing. Peace is the most important thing. The bald guard, Lu Guangming, picked up the camera. It's not broken. This thing has been working normally. The light is still on. It's been working normally. Bai Buhui took out his phone to open Lu Gang's livestream. There were too many comments, and it was already lagging. He had to refresh several times before he could see part of it. The direction of the comments had changed. Bai Buhui was anxious. He signaled for the guard to move the camera to the side and called Lu Gang's number. Do you still remember the contract we signed? You promised our theme park that there would be no problems, and that's why we agreed to let you livestream the whole thing. There was no reply. There was only breathing and running. Lu Gang, talk to me. Bai Buhui was anxious. He wanted to use Lu Gang's livestream to expose the interior design of the new haunted house scenario and reduce the playability as much as possible. He knew how much effort it took to create a scary scenario. After it was exposed online, the number of curious people would decrease. That way, even if Lu Gang was afraid, it would indirectly reduce the visitor's desire to visit. His plan was good, but he did not expect Lu Gang to abandon the livestream and run for his life. He also did not expect the scenario to be so big. He would not be able to finish it in an hour. This kind of live broadcast was only halfway through, and the feeling of being unfinished might attract more people to come and watch. After a long time, Lu Gang's intermittent voice came through the phone. Are you afraid I'll lose the bet? No, the mouth is on my body. No matter how scary it is, I can say it's not scary at all. If it's not scary at all, why would you abandon the camera? We can push the blame to the cameraman. The cameraman is too cowardly. What does it have to do with me? As long as you can clean up the mess. At this point, Bai Buhui could not say much. We found the camera. Where are you guys? Didn't you say to meet at the teacher's apartment? There's a female ghost chasing us. We can't go to the teacher's dormitory anymore. Take the camera, and we'll meet up at the library. Lu Gang's voice slowly calmed down like he had shaken off the ghost's pursuit. Why are you going to the library again? Bai Buhui felt like he had become Lu Gang's nanny, working so hard to protect this useless person. My assistant found a secret passage in the library. It seems to be a hidden exit. Why do you sound like you're not together with your assistant? Did you get separated again? He ran into an actor at the haunted house and got separated from us. That's what he told me earlier. Cut the crap. Hurry up and send the camera over. If I disappear from the livestream for too long, the netizens will complain. Lu Gang was getting impatient. Other than the secret tunnel, did your assistant tell you anything else? Bai Buhui was a suspicious person. A person who had been separated suddenly found an escape route on his own. The chance of that was so low that it was negligible. He felt like the male assistant had been replaced, and the person who messaged Lu Gang was not the assistant but an actor. Ever since he visited his colleagues at the hospital, Bai Buhui knew that this haunted house had no bottom line. It was crazy, and they could do anything. I would have forgotten if you didn't mention it. My assistant also discovered something. Of the few visitors that came in with us, only the student couple is normal. The other visitors are probably actors. Lu Gang's voice was not loud, but the corridor was so quiet that everyone heard him. They turned at the same time to look at the two visitors. The ghost is right before us. The security guard and sister ghost silently retreated, but Bai Buhui stood where he was. He held the phone with confusion on his face. Did the assistant tell you this as well? Of course, it was the student couple who lent the assistant the phone. The three of them gathered together and were chased by the haunted house's actors. Lu Gang said confidently like he had seen it himself. Chased by the haunted house's actors? Yes, it's the middle-aged man and his wife. Both of them are haunted house's actors, Lu Gang said confidently, and everyone heard him. They all turned to look at the middle-aged man and the woman like they were facing a great enemy. The middle-aged man did not seem to understand the situation. His legs were shaking. Even though he was afraid, he still shielded his wife behind him. The middle-aged man used his body to block them, so Bai Buhui's group did not see that the woman hiding behind the man was holding a phone. By then, the woman was sending the message that she had already written. Okay, I understand. Bai Buhui was about to hang up when Lu Gang's voice came again. Wait, I received another message from my assistant. Lu Gang's voice paused for a moment before it continued. Damn it, come to the library now. The male assistant and the two students have been cornered by the haunted house's actors. The call ended. Bai Buhui's group had been very cautious of the middle-aged man and the woman, but when they heard the last sentence from Lu Gang, they suddenly felt like something was wrong. If Lu Gang's assistant and students are cornered by the haunted house's actors, who are we facing now? Big Ghost hit the nail on the head. The two visitors are right before us, so why would they chase after the assistant? Yes, the security guard, Lu Guangming, was stunned. What's going on? Obviously, someone is lying. Bai Buhui narrowed his eyes. He scanned the middle-aged man from head to toe. What are your names? What do you want? The middle-aged man was even more careful than Bai Buhui. Perhaps considering that the other party was live streaming, he did not even reveal his name. Seeing the middle-aged man's fear, Bai Buhui smiled. It's fine. I think I know who is lying. This is a very simple lie. He pushed on his glasses. The male assistant told Lu Gang that he and the two students are being chased by the visitors, but in reality, the two visitors are right before us. So, it's the male assistant who is lying. Small Ghost scratched his head. The male assistant would not lie to Lu Gang. He has probably fainted from fear. The ones who are lying are the two students who are with him. It should be the two students who have been sending messages to Lu Gang. They framed the couple as the haunted house's actors to clear their suspicion and divert attention. But they did not expect the couple to be right next to us. Bai Buhui's logic was clear, and his voice was experienced. His words made everyone nod silently. The real haunted house's actors are the two students. They sure have hidden themselves well. They are so cunning at such a young age. Sister Ghost's back was covered in cold sweat. Actually, I should have noticed this earlier. This haunted house has a close relationship with Zhejiang Medical University, and the boss is very familiar with the medical students. A new scenario opened, and 2 students were suddenly shoved in. There has to be a problem, Bai Buhui said with certainty. Then we should call Brother Gang to tell him. The security guard, Lu Guangming, took out his phone. There's no need to rush. They are pretending to be visitors to scare us, so we will play with them this time. Since the live stream is still going, we will help Lu Gang regain the face that he has lost. Bai Buhui then turned to the middle-aged man. I'm sorry, there was a misunderstanding earlier. Do you want to join us? After all, there is strength in numbers. The middle-aged man hesitated. Let me think about it. At the same time, the woman hiding behind him was silently deleting the messages. You have no idea how cunning this haunted house's boss is. Only by staying together will we have a chance of clearing this scenario. Bai Buhui confirmed that the 2 students were actors, so he stopped being wary of the middle-aged man. You don't want your wife to break down from fear, right? We're here to play the haunted house, not to be played by the haunted house. Fine, I'll follow you for now. The middle-aged man still refused to believe Bai Buhui. But I'm warning you, if we run into something really scary, the 2 of us will not go with you. The more cautious the middle-aged man was, the more Bai Buhui thought he was a normal visitor. Don't worry. The camera focused on Bai Buhui. The host had changed, but the chat was still very lively. A netizen called a toast to the moonlight, even bet on how long this new host could last. OL, Lu, you'll be filming. Sister Ghost, you're responsible for contacting Lu Gang. Keep an eye on their movements. Small Ghost and I will scout ahead. The rest of you will cover us. Bai Buhui was obviously better than Lu Gang. Based on everyone's personality and ability, he assigned everyone a task in a short amount of time. Are we going to find Lu Gang now? But we don't even know where the library is. When Small Ghost heard that Bai Buhui wanted him to scout ahead, he felt quite uncomfortable. Listen to me, Bai Buhui replied coldly. We'll use the location where the camera fell as the center and search around. I'll give everyone 3 minutes. Whether we find any useful information or not, we'll leave immediately. What can we do in 3 minutes? You just need to listen to me. Bai Buhui considered the fact that there were other visitors, so he added, my colleagues have visited this haunted house before. After paying a big price, they gained some valuable experience. Do not stay at the same place for too long. If you stay for too long, the ghosts will find you on their own. Bai Buhui's personality was terrible, but he was very capable, so no one argued with him. They all obediently did as he said. They pushed open the door, and soon, they found something. Small Ghost found the birthday card that Mr. Bai had given his daughter and the 7th report from the Supernatural Phenomenon Research Society. Big Ghost found the 13th report from the Supernatural Phenomenon Research Society in Mr. Bai's bedroom. Report number 7 recorded the location of the art club. It seems to be in heaven. Number 13's report is even more bizarre. It says that there is a wishing well in the school. If you make a wish during the day, as long as you jump into the well at midnight, your wish will come true. Big Ghost reported his discovery to Bai Buhui. The more he investigated, the deeper he realized he had sunk. The complexity of this scenario was unimaginable. Multiple main storylines intertwined, and 60 minutes of exploration was not enough. Heaven? Wishing well? After Bai Buhui memorized these 2 keywords, he signaled for Sister Ghost to call Lu Gang, and the group started to search for the library. Passing the staff dormitory and the office building, Bai Buhui's group took a long detour before they reached the center of the school. After passing through an eerie green belt, they finally saw the incomplete map of the School of the Afterlife on a sign. The library is behind the teaching building. Little Gui's eyes were sharp, and he immediately discovered the location of the library. Bai Buhui nodded lightly. His gaze shifted to the corner of the map. At the edge of the field, a well was drawn. In this school filled with ghost stories, the Supernatural Observation Society should be on the same side as the visitors. Their investigation reports should be the most important clue. Bai Buhui thought about it quietly. Report number 7 said that the art club is in heaven, and report number 13 mentioned the wishing well. These 2 reports were placed in the same room, so there has to be a connection between them. A light crossed his eyes, and Bai Buhui pushed on his glasses. Could the wishing well be the hidden path to heaven? As long as we jump into the well, we can enter the art club? Who would think that the well would be the exit? The hidden path behind the library should be fake. That is a trap set up by the haunted house's workers. Perhaps the path that I found is the real one. Bai Buhui sighed. This Lu Gang is hopelessly stupid. The clue is where they once stayed, but he failed to find it. After memorizing the location of the well, Bai Buhui had Sister Ghost call Lu Gang, but for some reason, Lu Gang did not pick up. Looks like he's in trouble. Bai Buhui was helpless. He had everyone follow him to the education block at the center of the school. In the silent corridor, the dim lights kept flickering. The visitors who walked in the middle could see the empty classrooms on both sides through the windows. The classrooms that were once filled with the sound of reading and laughter now only had old tables and chairs left. Perhaps only the words carved on the table could prove how lively this place used to be. What the? After turning a corner, Small Ghost, who led the way, suddenly screamed. What did you see? Bai Buhui hurried over. There's someone standing in that classroom. Small Ghost pointed at the classroom on the other side of the corridor. From the outside, this classroom was no different from other classrooms, and it was hard to attract attention. But when the visitors let their guard down and walked past, they realized with a start that there was someone standing in the middle of the classroom. He was wearing a strange-looking school uniform. His head was lowered, and he did not say a word. Haunted house workers? Small Ghost's expression changed from initial fear to excitement. I've been in the haunted house for almost half an hour, and I finally see an actor. I thought they would hide like turtles. Our priority now is to find Lu Gang. We shouldn't waste time here, Bai Buhui and Big Ghost advised at the same time. Earlier, they kept adding to the atmosphere, and that unknown terror was scary. Now that they've shown their real faces, what do we have to be afraid of? Small Ghost seemed to enjoy pranks. Let me go and remove his mask to see what this haunted house worker looks like. The security, Lu Guangming, sensibly turned the camera toward Small Ghost. He did not use the front door but the back door. He probably planned to ambush from behind to scare the actor. The live stream was going on outside, and Lu Gang wanted to see the actor make a fool of himself, so he did not stop him. Small Ghost pushed open the back door lightly, but just as he was about to enter, his body froze like stone. Where is he? There was no one in the classroom. The male student that he had seen earlier had disappeared into thin air. He's hiding in a hidden path. Sister Ghost and Big Ghost also thought that was strange. The security, Lu Guangming, squeezed to Small Ghost's side to record. He was not a professional cameraman, so the picture was shaky and blurry. Come out now. There's something wrong with this classroom. Bai Buhui shouted from behind. The middle-aged man, Lao Zhou, and Duan Yu looked at each other, and they saw the confusion in each other's eyes. This is not in the script. Who is that student? With Lao Zhou's signal, Duan Yu secretly messaged Chen Ge, and moments later, she received a reply from Chen Ge. We're all on the same side. There's a special building in a 4-star scenario. The Ghost Story Classroom. It will randomly appear inside the School of the Afterlife, and every night, it will produce a ghost story related to the school. This ghost story will not harm anyone, but you have to be careful. The higher the number of screams, the scarier the ghost story will be, so I suggest the two of you avoid it. After reading Chen Ge's reply, the first thing Duan Yu did was delete all the messages. Then she and Lao Zhou tacitly retreated 5 meters away. The curious visitors were still gathered at the back door, and the bravest little ghost slowly entered the classroom. The student was standing in the middle of the classroom earlier. You saw him, right? Sister Ghost nodded. There has to be a secret tunnel. The classroom is very dark, and there are so many things here. There are many places for him to hide. Then she looked around. Did you notice that this classroom is different from the other classrooms? There are so many things here. It's like a storeroom. The classroom was indeed unique. Red symbols were drawn on the blackboard, and every table was carved with words. The drawers were stuffed with bulging school bags. Some of the bags were covered in black and red spots, and some had something that looked like hair peeking out from the zipper. Beside the tables, dark blue curtains covered the windows tightly, but there were human-shaped bulges under the curtains. There were strange portraits hanging on the walls. It was unclear who they were, but after looking at them for some time, it felt like the eyes of the person in the painting were following them. The old fan above them turned slowly. The blades were wrapped in white cloth, and they creaked noisily like they would fall at any moment. Various kinds of waste paper were scattered on the ground. Upon closer inspection, one would realize that there was a large amount of white paper money mixed among them. The things mentioned above were relatively normal. The most eye-catching part of the classroom was the first few rows. Next to the podium was an old square box television. The plug was not visible, but the light on the television kept on. On the other side of the podium, behind the classroom door, there was a mirror as tall as an adult. The mirror reflected this creepy classroom. I've read similar ghost stories before. I believe every school's old campus has a classroom that is not open to the public, and it is filled with junk. The school will say that the classroom has been converted into a storeroom, but in reality, it's because someone has died inside the classroom. Big Ghost's tone was calm. He looked around and added, perhaps more than one person has died. Yes, I feel like there's a story behind everything here. While they were discussing, the television next to the podium in the classroom suddenly turned on by itself. An ear-piercing noise came from the screen full of black and white snowflakes. It sounded like many people were talking, but because the equipment was old, the voices were severely distorted. It's the haunted house's actors. The screen flickered a few times before returning to normal, and black and white images began to appear on the television. There seemed to be words on the screen. What did he write? Let's go take a look together. Remember to bring the camera too. Other than Bai Buhui, the rest of them carefully approached the television in the classroom. Have you found the haunted house's actors? Don't waste time. Come out immediately. Bai Buhui was outside alone. As he spoke, he did not forget to glance at Lao Zhou and Duan Yu. When he realized that Lao Zhou and Duan Yu were very far away from him, he was even more certain that Lao Zhou and Duan Yu were visitors. If they were actors, now would be the best time to make a move on him. Don't worry, this classroom is very unique. It might hide what we're looking for. Small Ghost turned to look at the television screen. There was a sentence on it. Something weird happened at this school tonight. The student who was supposed to be dead has returned. The words slowly appeared on the screen. There was no embellishment, but it caused the viewer's hair to stand on end. When Big Ghost and Small Ghost focused on the television, the screen suddenly flickered. The image on the screen changed to this classroom, and all of them appeared on the screen. Is there a camera? Small Ghost reacted quickly, but based on the angle of the camera, he could not find any cameras. How did they do this? Just as they were trying to figure it out, the fan at the back of the classroom started to spin. The white cloth that hung from it was pulled taut like there was a person hanging from it. Look at the television, Sister Ghost screamed, and the few turned to the screen. On the black and white screen, there was a person hanging from the fan that was spinning at the back of the classroom. The fan was old, and it could not handle the weight of a dead body. The fan in the television spun a few times before suddenly falling. Pa! A loud crash came from the back of the classroom. The fan at the back of the classroom had fallen to the ground. How is this possible? Someone is controlling this from behind the scenes, right? Someone has to be controlling this. The few of them panicked, and then something even scarier happened. The student in the strange school uniform crawled up from the ground. He saw Big Ghost and Little Ghost, and he slowly walked toward them. They could not see the student in real life, but they could see the tables and chairs being pushed aside like someone was walking toward them. The atmosphere in the classroom was heavy. The male student on the television had already walked to Big Ghost and Small Ghost, standing face to face with them. Small Ghost was so nervous that he could not breathe. The arrogance on his face had disappeared. He gritted his teeth, slowly grabbed the back of the chair, and then slammed it into the air before him. Die! The chair slammed into the wooden table, but it did not hit anyone. So, it's fake. Small Ghost tossed the chair away and turned to look at the television. The male student had disappeared from the screen. How come he's gone from the screen? Is he hiding somewhere? The few leaned toward the screen. They were about to look for the male student when a face suddenly crawled out from underneath the television. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. The urgent and shrill voice came from the television. The student's face kept reconstructing itself, and the whole classroom was filled with abnormalities. Run! At that moment, no one cared about the clues. They rushed toward the classroom door, not even turning off the television. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. You won't be able to run away. The male student disappeared again, and the tables and chairs in the classroom were knocked over like someone was following behind them. Run! Sister Ghost screamed shrilly. She was the first to run out of the classroom and yelled at Bai Buhui. Bai Buhui had no idea what was going on, but from Sister Ghost's reaction, it could not have been anything good. He did not even ask and turned to run. Lao Zhou and Duan Yu, who had been hiding far away, reacted even faster. Before Sister Ghost left the classroom, they were already several meters away. Slow down, you two, it's safer to stay together. Lao Zhou and Duan Yu ignored the people behind them. They ran with their heads lowered, leading their teammates into the deepest part of the education block. Wait for me. At the front of the group, Lao Zhou and Duan Yu sprinted as fast as they could. Bai Buhui followed closely behind. To not be left behind, everyone started to run. Let's be friends. Let's be friends. The shrill male voice did not disappear. The student in the strange uniform also ran out from the classroom. Wait for me. The security guard, Lu Guangming, was the oldest, and he was carrying a camera. Carrying such heavy equipment, he could not run fast. Slowly, the distance between Lu Guangming and the group increased. In his panic, he wanted to throw the camera away, but considering the fact that the machine cost tens of thousands, and he would have to pay for it if it was broken, he carried the camera and ran for 20 meters. No one in the group was waiting for him. Seeing that he had reached a junction, and his teammates were about to disappear from his sight, Lu Guangming finally made up his mind. Money is not as important as my life. To minimize the loss, he slowed down and bent down to place the camera on the ground. However, when he raised his head again, the student in the strange uniform had almost caught up to him. Let's be friends. The shrill voice echoed in his mind. Lu Guangming had never been so afraid in his life. At that moment, he was like a helpless child, afraid to even open his eyes. His lips were shaking. He wanted to say something, but once he opened his mouth, there was only the sound of teeth chattering. I'm sorry. Lu Guangming did not know why he was apologizing. He screamed and rushed down the left corridor alone. Don't come after me. There are 6 good friends on the right, and I'm the only one on the left. Don't come after me. After the male student realized they had separated, he stopped at the junction and then turned to chase after the group. The shrill voice slowly disappeared, and Lu Guangming finally sighed in relief. Thankfully, I've been lucky. I can't stay here anymore. I'll go hide outside. Brother Gang said that if I can last for 60 minutes, he'll give me a red pocket worth 2,000 RMB. Looking at the time, I only need to find a place to hide for a while, and I'll be fine. Using his sleeve to wipe the cold sweat off his face, Lu Guangming did not dare to run. He leaned against the wall and prepared to retrace his steps. It's not convenient to hide with the camera, and it might affect Brother Gang's livestream. Lu Guangming did not touch the camera and jogged away. Returning to the first corridor, the front and back doors of the strange classroom were both open, and there were strange noises coming from inside. This is the first time I visited a haunted house. Please forgive me. I'm also a coward. Don't come out, I beg you. Trembling, he approached the classroom. Just as he was about to pass by, the television screen in the room suddenly flickered. Lu Guangming's heart skipped a beat, and he raised his hands above his head. I don't know anything. I'm just a security guard. This is all Lu Gang's doing. I'm sorry. He spoke incoherently and quickly ran past the classroom door. Lu Guangming didn't dare to stay, so he ran out of the building while apologizing. Panting heavily, Lu Guangming was covered in sweat. He didn't know if it was because of the heat or the fear. I need to find a place to hide. The security guard, Lu Guangming, looked at the surrounding buildings. Each building was creepier than the last, and it felt like there were ghosts hiding in every corridor. How are we supposed to hide? It feels like there are ghosts everywhere. He looked around before turning to the green belt at the center of the School of the Afterlife. Instead of calling it a green belt, it was more accurate to describe it as a pile of weeds. No one cared for the shrubs, and they grew crazily. There were a few half-dead trees stuck in the bushes. The trees are dying, but no one cares. This green belt seems to be a blind spot. Lu Guangming's eyes lit up. He looked around, and seeing that no one was passing, he quickly ran into the bushes. This is the perfect hiding place. The workers probably won't expect someone to be hiding here. Lu Guangming was quite pleased with himself. He crawled on the ground and was about to pick up some leaves to cover his bald head when he saw a tree hole before him, and there seemed to be something inside it. What is that? Lu Guangming crawled on the ground and slowly approached the tree hole. He reached his hand into the hole and took out a wooden box. Lying on the ground, Lu Guangming opened the wooden box. He was surprised to find a bloody oil painting inside, the peerless Tang sect. "Foe, isn't this the oil painting that we're looking for? My luck is too good, right? I've searched far and wide, and now I've found it by chance." Lu Guangming was very excited. He was fantasizing about how to get credit from Lu Gang when a faint scent of blood entered his nostrils. He felt a chill on his bald head like water droplets were falling on his head. He reached out to touch it and realized that his palm was dyed red. Blood. Lu Guangming pushed himself up from the ground. When he turned back to look, he almost peed his pants. A woman in a red dress stood behind him, and sticky blood dripped down her dress. Lu Guangming wanted to say something, but he realized that his facial muscles were cramping. For a visitor who was visiting a haunted house for the first time, this was too scary. The woman did not try to scare Lu Guangming. She looked at the wooden box in Lu Guangming's hands. Her pale hand reached into the red dress and took out several pieces of paper that were stuck together by blood. The slender fingers flipped the paper to the end, and the woman started to read it seriously. Lu Guangming shivered. He had no idea what the woman wanted. His eyes moved instinctively, and he looked at the blood-stained paper in the woman's hands. Many words were printed on it in bold, and there were hand-drawn pictures next to them to help him understand. Script. In this scenario, you don't need a character. You only need to act as yourself. Responsibility. Your mission is to guard the wooden box inside the tree hole. Suggestion. I'll provide you with a few ways to scare people, just for reference. 1. You can place your head inside the tree hole. When the visitor bends down to approach the tree hole, your body will appear behind the visitor. Your feet will leave the ground and lean down at a 45-degree angle. This will ensure that when the visitor sees the head and turns around in panic, they will see the headless body immediately. 2. If the visitor is holding a flashlight and sees the human head inside the tree hole from afar, you have to open your eyes when he sees you. This is the key point. At this time, you have to use your head to chase after the visitor, and your body will block his escape route from the other side. 3. If you run into the visitor by chance, do not panic. You can use the moment when the visitor lets his guard down to suddenly drop his head to catch him off guard. 4. Just looking at the words on the paper, Lu Guangming's body was covered in cold sweat. What kind of demon would come up with these things? The woman studied it for a while and seemed to understand it. She put away the few pages that were covered in blood, took the wooden box from Lu Guangming's hands, and walked to the tree hole. His legs were shaking, and Lu Guangming stared at the woman. He was afraid, but he did not dare move. The woman first placed the wooden box deep inside the tree hole and then held her chin with her hands. What is she doing? This was the first time Lu Guangming had visited a haunted house. When he was still confused, he suddenly saw the woman's hands pull down her own head. Lu Guangming saw it clearly. The woman pulled off her own head when she was less than half a meter away from him. His heart skipped a beat. This indescribable scene was like a hammer hitting Lu Guangming's brain. His pupils slowly lost focus, and the muscles on his face were still twitching. His body collapsed backward. Hearing the sound, the woman who was about to place her head inside the tree hole turned around. She looked at the unconscious Lu Guangming with confusion. I haven't even started the show, why did you faint already? Holding her head, the woman stood next to Lu Guangming dumbly. After a while, she used the tip of her foot to kick Lu Guangming lightly. It was as if she was saying, "Hey, wake up." The correct chapters of I Have a Haunted House will continue to be updated on the mobile game bar. There will be no advertisements on the site, so please bookmark and recommend the mobile game bar. If you like I Have a Haunted House, please bookmark I Have a Haunted House. Footsteps echoed down the corridor. The tall grass was pushed aside, and Chen Ge, who was wearing Mr. Bai's teacher's ID, walked over. You've done well. You're better than I expected. Chen Ge was never one to be stingy with his compliments. He was very good at encouraging others, and that probably had a lot to do with the fact that he was a kind man. Stay here for a while. If he wakes up, use him to practice other scaring techniques. If he doesn't, don't force him. Seeing the red specter nod, Chen Ge left with satisfaction. He had rushed over because he had received a message from Duan Yu, saying that the Ghost Stories classroom had appeared. As the unique building in the 4-star scenario, Chen Ge wanted to see it for himself. Even though the black phone said that this scenario would not harm anyone, he had to experience it for himself. Ghost Stories classroom sounds like a good project, but unfortunately, Lao Zhou and Duan Yu didn't give me enough feedback. After entering the education block, Chen Ge did not walk far before he saw the strange classroom. I came here last night when I was setting up the scare points. It wasn't like this. He entered the classroom and glanced around. Everything was normal. The Ghost Stories classroom will produce a ghost story every night. What was the ghost story that appeared last night? He sat in the front row of the classroom and waited for a long time, but nothing happened. His patience was wearing thin. Chen Ge sent a message to the phone that Lao Zhou had used earlier. After learning that they were being chased by the student inside the Ghost Stories classroom, he immediately walked out of the classroom. Bang! The classroom door closed on its own. When Chen Ge turned back, the classroom had returned to normal. The television, mirror, and miscellaneous items had all disappeared like they had never been there. What's the meaning of this? Once I, the owner of the black phone, enter, the Ghost Stories classroom will change locations? Or is it only open for a limited time each day? The Ghost Stories classroom had disappeared, but the male student who was chasing Lao Zhou had not. This gave Chen Ge a shortcut to success. He sped up, and after running a few steps, he suddenly saw the camera that had been left alone in the middle of the corridor. The poor camera was abandoned several times, and everyone felt that it was a burden. If the camera is thrown away, what will Lu Gang use to livestream the fight against fraud? This was like a soldier throwing away his weapon on the battlefield, and that confused Chen Ge. If you don't livestream the whole thing, how will the audience know how fun my haunted house is? Chen Ge walked to the side of the camera. Seeing that the indicator light was on, he breathed a sigh of relief. Since you don't want to shoot, I'll do it for you. The corners of his mouth curled up, and several plans popped up in his mind in an instant. During Lu Gang's livestream, he would have tried his best to smear the reputation of haunted house and use various methods to reduce the sense of horror, but now Chen Ge had obtained the camera. Now that the filming rights were in his hands, it was no longer the time for the netizens to film whatever they wanted to see. Instead, the netizens had to see whatever he filmed. I'll use this opportunity to promote my haunted house and let everyone experience the charm of haunted house. Holding the camera with one hand, Chen Ge took out his phone with the other and opened Lu Gang's live stream. The camera moved up, and once the screen started to shake, the number of comments started to increase. The camera is moving. Brother Gang finally remembered us in his live stream. This is not right. Brother Gang has already escaped, and so has the second wave of people. Who is filming now? F***CK. That's scary. I'm not watching anymore. The camera is moving on its own. Put me down. Chen Ge did not interact with the comments. He held the camera and planned to record the real faces of the visitors before millions of people. At the same time, he would be able to promote his haunted house. With Lao Zhou and Duan Yu providing the location, Chen Ge silently followed behind the group of visitors. Let's be friends. The screams came closer. Not only big ghost and small ghost, even Lao Zhou and Duan Yu started to panic. The education block was the biggest sub-scenario in the school of the afterlife. The corridors were complicated, and there was no reference point, so it was easy to get lost. With Lao Zhou and Duan Yu leading the way, they reached the deepest part of the education block. There were corridors all around them, but none of them showed any hope. What the hell is that? I have no idea. His stamina is too good. The screams kept coming, and he could run like a 100-meter sprint. The more the visitors thought about it, the more afraid they became. We can't keep dragging this out. Since he wants to find a friend, perhaps if we agree to his request, he will leave. Sister Ghost really could not run anymore. She was so tired that she felt like vomiting. Before she came, she really did not expect visiting a haunted house to be so tiring. Let's give it a try. I've heard a similar ghost story before. An isolated student had an accident in his classroom. He would return to school every ghost festival, and he would only leave in peace after he found a friend. Lao Zhou and Duan Yu ran at the front. They also looked like they were out of breath. Lao Zhou would occasionally dry heave. He held his chest with one hand like he really could not take it anymore. Okay. Then we'll give it a try. When the ghost student asks, I'll count down from 3, And we'll answer at the same time. I'm willing to be your friend. Bai Buhui's leadership ability was much better than Lu Gang's. He had become the backbone of this small group. No problem, everyone agreed. Their eyes were determined, and they suppressed their fear as they stood together. The ghost student saw them stop, but he did not slow down. His face was twisted, and he rushed over with a strange smile. Let's be friends. Get ready. Bai Buhui's palms were sweating. He started to count down. 3, 2, 1. When he said the last word, the corridor became eerily quiet. None of the six spoke. The atmosphere was rather awkward. This shocking silence lasted for half a second before everyone started to run at the same time like they had planned it. The teamwork eventually devolved into a dirty battle of stamina. Lao Zhou and Duan Yu felt like they were going to die at any moment, but the two did not slow down at all. In the end, it was Sister Ghost who could not hold on anymore. She was the first to be caught by the ghost student. The horrifying ghost face stuck itself in front of her and passed through her body. The ghosts produced by the Ghost Stories classroom appeared to be a lingering spirit with a time limit. Whenever the ghost student found a friend, his body would fade a little. Screams echoed in the corridor. Her body had reached its limit, and combined with the emotional breakdown, the double torture caused Sister Ghost to faint to the ground. The camera slowly moved away, and then two doctors in white coats floated past. They grumbled softly as they dragged the woman away. Sister Ghost. Hearing Sister Ghost scream, Small Ghost panicked, but he did not stop. Hey, the one in front. You haven't finished your ghost story yet. Small Ghost ran as fast as he could. But he could not catch up to Lao Zhou. He could only scream. If someone becomes friends with the ghost student, the student will leave, but what will happen to those who become friends with the ghost student? Even though Small Ghost did not dare save Sister Ghost, it was clear that he cared about her. The ghost student will only return on Ghost Festival. After he finds his friends, naturally, he will leave with his friends. F***ck. Doesn't that mean that those who become the ghost student's friends will die? Small Ghost slowed down, wanting to save Sister Ghost. You can think about it from another perspective. Perhaps your friends will become the new ghost student. Does that make you less afraid? Your sister, it's not my sister, it's Sister Ghost. Lao Zhou held his chest and ran as fast as he could, but he was still able to talk normally. The team of 7 turned into 5 in the blink of an eye. The ghost student's screams did not stop, but they could clearly feel that the ghost student had slowed down. We can't run anymore. At the crucial moment, Bai Buhui stood up. He followed Lao Zhou and Duan Yu deeper into the education block. Even if we have to run toward the library. Lu Gang is there, and we have to meet up with him as soon as possible. But do you know where the library is? Lao Zhou leaned against the wall and gasped for air. I don't know, but we can ask. Bai Buhui took out his phone and turned on the flashlight. He aimed it at the corridor behind him. I've seen many horror movies and played many horror games. I'm a haunted house designer myself. That can't be a simple projection. It has to be a real person in disguise. What are you trying to say? Since it's a real person, no matter how scary it is, there's no need for us to be afraid. Bai Buhui's hands that held the glasses were shaking. He was not as calm as he appeared. We're just visiting a haunted house. As long as we believe that everything is fake, there's nothing to be afraid of. He repeated it as if he was cheering himself on. By then, the ghost student had already caught up to him from the other side of the corridor. The man was wearing a strange school uniform, but his body gave off a surreal feeling. Let's be friends. I refuse to believe this. Bai Buhui gritted his teeth. He held the phone and purposely shone the bright light on the ghost student. In the dark corridor, the light from the flashlight was particularly glaring. Illuminated by the light, the ghost student's speed increased, and its body became more illusory. Ah! Bai Buhui shouted at the ghost student, who rushed to Bai Buhui's side against the light. The horrifying face kept enlarging in Bai Buhui's eyes before it crawled out of his body. After finding his two friends, the ghost student's spirit weakened. It used the last of its power to pass through the small ghost's body and then disappeared. Fake? Is it a projection? Bai Buhui's legs were already stiff, his face covered in cold sweat. At that moment, he was so scared that he almost fainted. Fortunately, his willpower was outstanding, and he managed to hold on. Brother Bai? Are you okay? Even Small Ghost did not realize that the way he addressed Bai Buhui had changed. What was that thing just now? It was too realistic. How did this haunted house do that? With some simple visual technology, they can create something similar. Our futuristic theme park has scarier scenarios than this. Bai Buhui smiled with condescension as he tried to move his legs that were numb from fear. Technology is so advanced nowadays. Small Ghost and Big Ghost crowded around him. Since that thing is fake, why don't we go back to find Sister Ghost now? She must be scared out of her wits. Okay, we can't leave her alone. Bai Buhui turned to Lao Zhou and Duan Yu. You two come with us. We can't be separated anymore. After discovering the secret of the haunted house and knowing that all the ghosts were fake, they instantly felt less afraid. They retraced their steps, but they did not find Sister Ghost. The woman seemed to have disappeared. Where is she? How come there's no movement at all? Theoretically speaking, after Sister Ghost realized that the ghost was a projection, she should have warned us, unless. Bai Buhui looked around. There are other actors here, and they have set up a trap. Projecting the ghost is just the first step. While they were guessing, there was a sudden rush of footsteps coming from the other side of the corridor. A young couple was running towards them in a hurry. So familiar. It's that student couple. These two actors probably don't know that they've been exposed. Bai Buhui, Big Ghost, and Small Ghost shared a look. They had nowhere to vent the anger that they had been toyed with. Finally, there are living people. This haunted house is too scary. The couple looked haggard. Their faces were pale, and it was clear that they had been given quite a scare. How did you two find us? Bai Buhui's voice was laced with murderous intent. As the designer of the futuristic theme park, he hated everything related to the haunted house. We heard the scream, and then we ran this way. The male student was very polite. Are you two alright? We're fine, of course we're fine. Small Ghost and Big Ghost slowly surrounded them with dark faces. That's good. By the way, when we were behind you, we saw someone holding a camera following you. It's very suspicious. You have to be careful. Holding a camera? Bai Buhui narrowed his eyes. Your acting skills are not bad, but you'd better use your brain before you speak. The security guard with the camera has disappeared. You're telling me that his disappearance is related to you. The male student's brain did not register. Stop acting. Small Ghost was impatient. He grabbed the male student by his collar. Where's Sister Ghost? Where is she? Where did you hide her? Sister Ghost? The male student thought that was not a normal name. Have I triggered some kind of hidden plot? We know everything. Stop doing pointless things. Bai Buhui had lost his patience. Tell us the location of Sister Ghost in the library. How am I supposed to know? The male student panicked. He flung Small Ghost's hand away and grabbed his girlfriend as he slowly retreated. He had heard the people from the medical school say that this haunted house was scary, and now that he was here, he realized that the rumors were true. Not only was the setting scary, even the visitors inside were scary. Small Ghost and Big Ghost both had dark faces, and the other few did not look right. The male student grabbed his girlfriend's hand slightly harder, and then the two of them ran down the corridor. Stop right there, don't you dare run. The couple ran ahead, and Bai Buhui, Small Ghost, and Big Ghost chased after them. Lao Zhou looked at them silently and sighed. This is so tiring. Duan Yu dragged Lao Zhou and chased after them. This time, they ran out of the education block and rushed down the corridor into the lab building. For more thrilling fanfiction stories like this, check out my channel Fanfic Audiobook. Dive into epic adventures, mysterious realms, and legendary journeys brought to life through immersive storytelling. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing audiobooks.